Wow. Oh my God. Y'all don't know how good it feels to be back behind a normal widescreen that shows everything. It shows Baphomet, the picture. Um, oh, that experience was awful last night. We did the vertical. We tried vertical. I don't know how people are doing it. I don't know how they're doing it. This feels like normal, like being back home. I'm not doing that vertical format anymore. Oh, it it threw my brain off. So welcome. It's the weekend. It's also an open panel. Hi, Philip. Let's see. My banner. Look, the banners are at the bottom now. The comments, everything's normal. Whew. I think I have some post trauma behind that vertical layout. All right, let me peek at the news. Um, Wildfires, fires, California, Israel, Gaza. That cartel guy got arrested. It says it's likely to set off a violent jockeying for power because now there's a leadership vacuum and the Olympics. So I guess that's it. That's news. Let me check Twitter. Oh, this is kind of interesting. I'll show this. It's just a meme that somebody posted on Twitter. It's the principles of classical liberalism. We are not God. No one has the final say. No one has special personal authority. That's why it always amazes me when people try to claim it. Like tell people how to talk or what social norms are going to be enforced. Skepticism and fallibilism. Public criticism is legitimate. Rule of law. Consent of the governed. Inalienable rights. Limited government. And free speech and inquiry. Yeah, this is pretty much the version of liberalism that I grew up with. When I call myself a liberal, that used to be what we stood for. It's still what I stand for. Hello, Sandeep. Welcome. Just hanging out, going over social media until we get a crew going. Daniel Barry, how are you? Saturday. Let me see who's streaming. Ooh, no, don't leave. Oh, Tommy Temper. P.F. Jung he's probably still streaming. He's going live this morning, taking callers. Um, Jesse. Oh, Frank. Here, let's watch Frank shoot things for a little while. Give Frank's channel a support. He is just Frank. Let's see what he is. Just Frank, I guess. See, I want to go hiking. That's all this makes me do. I want to go run through the river and hike, preferably with a dude like similar to this. I think that's a girl actually. He tends to play these lesbian characters. Maybe it's a guy. I can't tell by the butt. Oh, Yeah, like I want to be out on a summer day in the wilderness, in the outdoors, doing this in person. I don't want to sit and watch it on my TV screen, much less have to manipulate a controller in the process to do it. It's just easier to go out and like play paintball. Ooh, ooh, that might be. Yeah, I can only take so much. It's already ruining my day. Let's see, is a philosophical liberalism. Yeah, okay, I can accept that it has multiple meanings in different contexts, as so many words do. I still the points on that tweet, that meme, I still support. They're like the foundations of my understanding of liberalism. They're certainly philosophical values. They're definitely political values. Economic, I'm more or less okay with our current mixed system of capitalistic, free market, social. There's some socialist elements, so it's mixed market. I'm okay with that. I'd even be open to a UBI if we automate enough. Twitchy. Hand Banana was wild. Yeah, he had to open his own stream where he could get even more X-rated than I'm comfortable with here. Oh, thanks. Those are antlers. They're the real. Okay. All right. Goodbye. I so rarely have to do this, but let's do this. Right. You think there's ethnically liberal? Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree that about Jewishness and about liberalism. Man, the trolls are here waiting for Mike, and he's not even here. I don't even know if he's going to show up. Yeah, okay, I'm cool with that. I like nuance and definitions too. Really, I was just sharing that tweet with those 10 different points. Oh, okay. Well, that's good because I can't always guarantee he'll even show up. I would hate that he's my content, like the content that the channel is now centered around, because it's certainly not. Oh, well, thank you, shit show. I appreciate it. All right, let me try to guess where you are. So you're like, oh, so 12 p.m. noon. You're like one time zone away. So you're maybe in Denver or Arizona, like mountain time. Um, okay. All right, Miss Jackson. Let's see. I think I covered everything. Did I have everything else? Anything else? No, not really. That vertical thing last night really threw me off. Um, let's see what Tommy's doing. Tommy Temper, not the other Tommy. Y'all are funny. All right. I don't know. Whoever wants to come up, within reason, I'm open. Last night we talked about water pumps, um, perpetual motion machines. all kind of stuff. Really, I just try to open the space every day for people. It's kind of like a drop in, a community center drop in. So every now and then there's like spurgs out there like Church of Four that sometimes just need a place to come and hang out. Every now and then when I have something to say, I'll present some topics, like usually when I'm in rabbit holes. But I haven't been in very many lately. And the politics stuff, I'm just holding back from all that. I'm not even paying attention to it because I don't want to flood my attention tunnel with like noise and useless information because I know it's going to do this the next 4 months. It's just going to bounce all over the place. So I'm going to wait and let everything settle itself out. Well, hopefully the conversation is good. It usually is if I let on the right guests. It's the right combination of guests. It's all about combinations and relationships. It's like the molecules in chemistry. You have to combine the right atoms in the right way to get the right molecule. And if you add the wrong element, that can throw off a whole stream. Right up to and including the exploding test tubes, smoke, fire. I remember in chemistry class we had the big hoods. Like you had to go. It stuck out from the wall, and it had this glass like door you'd raise up, and you'd have to put. I think sometimes you had these gloves, these tongs, and you'd have to work under this hood with your arms under the glass to mix all the chemicals. I thought that was probably a good idea. Okay, I think we have a guest. Like Mr. Kidro.
Yo,
Yo, happy Saturday.
yep.
I'm making a lot of assumptions that it's Saturday where you are, that it's happy.
Well, you're right. It's a Saturday.
Did some new Deadpool movie come out? I keep seeing something on my feed.
Yeah, a new movie came out yesterday. I'm seeing it tomorrow.
What's your thoughts? Oh, yeah, you haven't seen it yet?
No,
Oh, it's at least from my crowd, my the people I follow, it's getting good reviews.
I'm a huge Deadpool fan.
I think I only saw the first one. Oh God, Jimmy Dore, that explains a lot, not lies. You are so propagandized. Oh, okay, so you woke out of it. Good. Then there's hope for you. That is progress. Sandeep, how to join? Well, we have a Discord. If you can find me on Discord under Gen X Jeff, or you can sorry, wrong. Let me correct that. Or you can come in the back and I'll pop the invite.
Are those horns part of your head, or are they like for merch?
It's a headband.
Uh, I thought that it was part of your
I
head.
wish they were part of my head. Maybe I wish. I don't know if I actually had antlers, it might get frustrating. It's just one more thing to get have to coordinate with the physical world. I would get frustrated. Is that the movie Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yes.
Well, it's getting a couple of thumbs from Shiva or some snaps, whatever. Oh, hey
There's
Moose.
Moose.
I came up spontaneously. I forgot to send out the invite, but I'm glad you're here. Oh. So what's been going on in your world?
Places and things.
Interesting.
Yep.
I hope they're interesting.
I hope they're interesting too.
Probably not as exciting as Chuck's. Chuck can
Um,
live like an entire action movie, just like going from his living room to his kitchen somehow.
a couple days ago, on there's something called Hot Ones, where they like eat hotter and hotter barbecue sauce. And uh and so basically Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman were on it, and Hugh Jackman's face was turning red like a beet because he couldn't handle it. It
Mine
was
probably would too.
hilarious.
So these are celebrities that have to eat this stuff.
Well, it's like a challenge.
Oh God, I would fold. Yeah, take care, shit show. Glad you stopped by. I'll keep it going as long as there's conversation, people that want to talk.
Did you hear that the whole thing with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson changed the rules, and also is fining Jake Paul for backing out.
No, I don't know anything about that. Is that sports? Daniel Barry was here earlier. He might know.
Let me see if I can find the link.
Hey, freak. Oh, I did have something I wanted to look at. P.F. Young on his show was watching a video of Kamala getting a phone call from Michelle Obama, and he was trying to read the body language of the call, like the nonverbal stuff, to show that Michelle Obama is higher in the dominance hierarchy than Kamala is. And I wanted to like break that down and see what this audience thought, but I have to see if I can find the video. See Obama endorse historic phone call. Yeah, this is it. Hopefully I won't get copyrighted. It's from the Independent. Oh, hey Chuck. How you doing? Freak. All right.
So the link I just put in is basically talks about how um like the conditions Mike Tyson, if Logan not Logan if Jake Paul doesn't want to face like financial debt, then like um yeah, it was just a very interesting watch. Like
I'm watching it now. I'm trying to figure out if there's any copyright footage that looks copyrighted or any music. It's hard to tell. It's from Boxing World. So how did it work? Mike Tyson changed the rule, and so this guy pulled out.
well he Jake Paul pulled out earlier, basically because he was scared, I believe.
Of
But
Mike.
his excuse was that he didn't want to hurt Mike in his like because he was older than him, and it's like, yeah,
Yes, plasma, the horizontal is back. You will never have to be subjected to that again. I have my brain, my whole brain is thrown off, like from just one night of streaming in vertical. No more.
Vertigo streaming.
Yeah, we tried it last night, but it was painful, mentally painful, probably almost physically painful. All right, I want to tell me what you think of this Kamala video because I wasn't picking up on whatever they were trying to say. It's something about it shows that Michelle Obama is boss, like she's higher than Kamala, and it's something about that you can't tell people that are higher than you in a hierarchy that you're proud of them. Like you can't tell your boss that you're proud of them because it violates hierarchy. So let's watch. Oh, hang on. We have a Chuck. All right, Chuck, we're gonna watch this Kamala video to see if.
Yeah, I got a couple of comments after it's done. Go ahead.
All right, let's see. So tell me if y'all, which y'all get from this, because I wasn't getting it.
Kamala.
Hello. Hi.
Hey there.
Oh, hi. You're both together. Oh, it's good to hear you both.
I can't have this phone call without saying to my girl Kamala, I am proud of you. This is going to be historic.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Oh, my goodness. Michelle, Brock, this means so much to me. I'm looking forward to doing this with the two of you, Doug and I both, and getting out there, being on the road. But most of all, I just want to tell you the words you have spoken and the friendship that you have given over all these years mean more than I can express. So thank you both. It means so much. And we're going to have some fun with this too, aren't we?
I don't like. Granted, I'm autistic, but I don't get the. It was something like because they're telling her that they're proud of her. They have seniority. Like only someone in seniority over someone else can say that. And so it's a signal that Kamala's not actually in charge. The Obamas have more influence over her.
Correct.
Well, I mean,
whatever they're basing that on, I didn't see any of that from that video.
well, I here's what I saw. I just saw a conversation of two people. You know, I'm always the biased person, so I just saw two, like one. I mean, don't get me joking. The Obamas are a big deal, so yes, that's a big support if they verbally say, "Hey, you did a good job. We're proud of you." So I'm not taking anything away from that at all.
No, I
But
didn't either.
it's just I don't see them being like, "Hey, you're doing this," and like I don't see them taking a in charge role.
Yeah, it seemed like the conspiracy brains do. It seemed like enough to get a brain spinning a narrative about something going on under the surface more than it appears. From just that one phone call, and I wasn't picking up on any of it. But I normally don't. So if there's some rule that you're not supposed to tell people above you that you're proud of them, I've been breaking it my whole life, and nothing's been happening. So
The version I saw of that commercial. Now, I don't know if this one's been changed or if the version I saw had changed. But when they show her on the cell phone, the version I seen, the cell phone was actually on the home screen of the cell phone. It wasn't even on the telephone part. You follow what I'm saying?
do you have
No.
the version you watch? Can we watch that
I'll
version?
Yeah.
I'll have to go find it because it was yesterday.
Because I didn't even
What?
I didn't even notice the phone, to be honest.
And then the other thing you'll notice, she's in a building when it starts, and then all of a sudden she's out by the SUV.
Like, where did I start? Oh, I did this to
Maybe they're-
myself.
No.
I'm the
I'm just saying the phone call might have been real, but they made the commercial around the phone call, is what I'm saying.
Probably.
Maybe
Yeah.
the real journey was.
I
the
didn't think she's
politics we
actually
hate
making
along
the
the
phone
way.
call while she's
All right.
walking through this
The
building.
third thing is look at that quote unquote necklace around her neck.
Yo.
No. The symbology of it.
Jesus.
No, the symbology
Help
of it. Did you see? Did you notice the necklace?
What?
It looks like
I'm not visual. I didn't. If anybody wants to commit a murder or a crime or a theft, I am the person you want to do it in front of, because I am not going to notice shit when the cops start talking to me. Did you see the color dress? Did you see? I'll be like, nope, I didn't notice any of that. I wasn't paying attention. I am not visual. I didn't see her phone. I didn't see any of that.
It's like, well, did you see anything happen? No, officer. I was too busy.
I saw her walk
I was too busy
through
avoiding getting
it looked like a
shot.
medical office, like or some fancy corporate building.
I was too busy
And
avoiding
did she get
shot
on an
to
elevator, or am I
identify
imagining
anything.
that? And then there was like what I remember the most because I'm textual. I remember there was text. There was like background floating, and then they had the text of the phone call reading out on the screen. That's mostly what I was watching.
I see. I missed that part.
Oh, see, it's like the gorilla playing basketball.
I think the
Real
Gorillas are a
plays.
cool band.
Typical male perspective to focus on the text. I barely noticed the woman at all. And then I remember it had blue. It had like a blue background with print on it was some of the call. It would have the text in front of that blue background. So it was very stylized and produced.
Oh, I
Oh,
did
yeah.
go back and rewatch a little bit of last night's show, and you guys were talking about some sort of water pump
My
thingy.
God.
No,
Yeah.
no. It's called a Trump or a Trump pump.
We have
Is
an
it
update on the water pump.
okay?
Let me grab it. Hang on.
It's an
It was
ram pump.
it was by far one of our most, and by that I mean least riveting conversations
Right.
that we've ever had on this channel. It is it's something called Boyle's self-flowing, self-filling flask, and it says it doesn't work because it would violate the first and second laws of thermodynamics, but there are YouTube videos of people showing how it can be faked. So that was the videos that were being offered. But it's not possible in reality.
Was it talking about a ram pump or a ram induction pump or something like that?
I don't know. Jesus is
Okay.
not working today either.
I didn't want to hurt your head.
I'm not ready for her. I will never be ready for her, but I am preparing for that reality, like that version of the waveform to collapse.
And if YouTube switches to all vertical, then I quit YouTube.
I'm not. I'm last night was horrible. I've never had such a bodily visceral experience from streaming. Like the
I don't know what
difference
it
was
looks
that
like
stark.
on your end trying to do it, but on the receiving end, I don't care for the layout at all. I don't know. I know why they did it, to try to compete with TikTok.
Yeet.
What?
Yep.
Huh?
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Because I think that
with my comment.
DEI is going to get worse under her. It's going to become more validated. It's already a superstitious mythological concept, and it's going to become even more validated, like it's a real thing under her. And I think that's bad. I think basing a society on irreality and superstition is bad.
Jeff, isn't DEI basically affirmative action?
No, it's more than that. Besides, even affirmative action is not legal anymore.
Well, I know that, but I'm just talking about the same horse with a different blanket over it.
No.
Oh, worse.
What is one thing you would like to invest your time in if you That's a good question.
Probably
maybe reading even more books or better books than I did at the time, and maybe finding the internet stuff sooner, and this part of like the streaming type part sooner, because the early internet was more text based.
Yeah.
But probably doing more of the stuff that I've already done. I don't know if I would invest time in something different than I was already investing in.
A different career, possibly, or a different way to approach it.
No, it's not just white men. I don't know where you get that from, and I'm not even all that white.
Who's getting nervous?
It's anybody that cares about reality, science, truth, etc. I think DEI actually hurts the people it's trying to help because it reduces everything to a single factor or maybe a couple of factors or a set of factors, and it obscures the actual uh, causes that are contributing to a person's situation, and that might be where some of the solutions is. So if you make it all about oppression, oppressed and stuff, then you're closing off pathways to the reality that that person might be experiencing and solutions.
So what is DEI, anyways?
Diversity, equity, and inclusion, which now they're calling EDI for some reason. It's equity, diversity, inclusion.
Make up your mind.
It's mythological in your mind. All you know. I don't know what you're talking about, not lost. So whatever you type it here is definitely in your mind and not mine.
I want some
'Cause
of
I have no
whatever
idea
he's
what it is.
smoking. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's a way. It's like a what $1 billion industry, and it's a way. It's a complete waste.
Yes.
Yeah, but the state's role is not to police civility. I don't want the civility police here in the United States. I want the resiliency police, if anything, and the anti-fragility police, like the put your big girl panties on police. I look pale. Oh, thank you. Most people say I look red, so I'll take pale.
You look palish red.
Palish red. Okay.
Well, that's because he spent time with Satan this morning.
That's not true. I did a whole stream on this sabotage where I did a whole stream still manning wokeness because I experienced something similar to what it sounds like they're describing, but I think of it and frame it in a completely different way to where I'm not even sure it's the same thing. So I was
If
trying
you're
to give them
woke, can you
credit
fall
for
asleep?
identifying a difficulty that some groups face when they try to integrate into a larger outgroup. Do what, Kidra?
Are you allowed to sleep if you're woke?
I don't know. I don't ask anybody. I just sleep. If my body's able to sleep, I guess I'm allowed to.
He was making a joke,
Oh.
I think.
Not what a cartoon universe this guy lives in. And what do they feed you up in Canada?
Maple syrup.
It's clogging his brain. Yeah, absolutely. If you watch the Red Pill documentary, you'll come away with the sense that white men are like the most oppressed group in America. So any group can create an oppression narrative for themselves. I could easily do it with my people if I wanted to.
But
It doesn't
I think
empower me to do that, and I don't think it empowers anyone to do that.
I think these programs actually promote oppression.
Well, they're the ones dividing people into the two categories of oppressed and oppressor, which is the first stage of genocide, is classification. We looked that up on Wikipedia too. So that alone is reason to be cautious about it.
What should I have for dinner tonight?
What's
Pork
your
chops
options?
and applesauce.
Cane's chicken fingers, if there's a Cane's near you. What are your options?
Well, I could make tacos. I
That
can
sounds
make
good.
spaghetti. Let's see. Maybe I'll make an omelet for dinner. I don't know.
Tacos sound great. Is it with the little mix, the seasoning packet?
Yeah,
Yeah, those are great and easy to do.
I have
We're
like the what do you call it? Dorito taco shells.
Like the
Oh, the hot
shells with
ones?
Dorito flavored, or they're
Uh,
just Dorito brand?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a lot of flavor.
We're having garlic butter steak with baked
Damn.
potato salad, green spinach, and corn.
You're cooking all that?
Yeah. I cook
Dang,
every
Chuck.
day.
No, I am not a vegetarian, but I was a vegan in my 20s for several years. Cultural appropriation. Nobody knows who's Mexican anymore or Italian. We don't need the culture police.
I'll
Well, that
be
would be
whatever I want to
Canada.
do.
That's right.
Yeah, kudos to Denizen for a really good show last night.
Speaking of coffee, I need more of it.
Yeah, I just fixed one myself.
I was, and I'm probably going to get a little bit of hate on this. I never found coffee appealing.
I didn't either really till I moved up here to Seattle. I mean, we drank it in New Orleans somewhat, but in Seattle, you almost can't even socialize without being around coffee. And so it's more of a habit than anything else. But I never liked the taste of it growing up at all.
Did
I find
they
it
have
bitter.
that mixed coffee down there in Louisiana?
Do
That
we
had
what?
the way back there was coffee, and they used to like supplement it with
The chicory.
another.
We had community coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
chicory or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I would order it when I lived in Vegas. I would order it and put it in the workroom at work, and everybody found it too strong, like they couldn't drink it.
I found
Should
it too
universities
bitter.
be limited to? No, I think no. In fact, shortly after I graduated, Louisiana passed a law where if you had a certain GPA, if you graduated with like a certain grade point, then public university was free to Louisiana students if you had a certain high. And I thought that was such a fantastic, even though I still had to pay, it didn't apply to me. My brothers benefited from it. I thought it was a fantastic opportunity. I'm for anything that brings education to as many people as possible.
Now
I
you
don't think
might
we should
argue.
gatekeep access to education, quality
You might
education, information, plus the ability to think and process that information.
you might argue with me, but I don't believe everybody should go to college.
No, I don't think everybody should either, especially nowadays. I wouldn't even go to college.
Some people just aren't
I
cut
never
out
went to
for it.
college.
I went, but I have a useless degree I'm never going to use. So I might have, I would have saved myself a lot of time and money if I had not gone.
Basket weaving.
It's actually
yours was-
electronics, but
Yeah, computers, wasn't it?
yeah, but it's so obsolete. I could probably get a job as an electrician, maybe. But I don't trust myself.
The thing with electricity is you got to remember to respect it.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Remembering all that stuff.
Because of reasons and things.
Yeah. I electrocuted myself when I was like 3 years old. So I wasn't even respecting it then. I definitely don't trust myself around it. Like some people with ADHD and stuff, there's just certain environments they should not be put in. Kitchens, medical settings, surgical theaters.
Anything that involves fire.
Yeah.
No, wait
Is
a
this
minute.
Sean from Ireland? Okay, we're going to see if your microphone works, Sean. If we get an echo, sorry about your luck.
Hello.
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 1, 2, 3 testing.
It
Hello?
did not pass.
What?
Hello?
No, it's
I need to get a new phone.
echo. It's like a
Doppelganger?
it's
What's
like a
wrong with
whole
my
like
phone?
2 or 3 second delay.
I mean, I'm getting possessed. All right, bye.
It's out. What kind of microphones do they have in Ireland?
Cheap ones. I got a cheap one. I don't
Tin
have
can and
microphone.
string.
I don't know what to do. I
They
don't
have
think we're
robot
going to be able to
microphones.
converse. But it's good to see you. Or hear you.
and he's gone. Poof.
Yeah, it's usually like that. Well, sometimes he's able to make it through.
I feel sorry for the poor guy. He's
I,
trying to
I
stand
admire
this.
that he tried. Like that doesn't stop him. That he makes the most of the little he's able to do.
Don't stop
That's persistence.
believing.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna get coffee. I will be right back. I will let you two continue to
Alrighty.
chat.
So what's a good word, Kidro?
Yeet. That is
Yeet.
always yeet. That is always the good word.
Uh,
That has been
you're the
my
guy.
word.
You're
That's
the guy
been
that does music, aren't you?
kinda, yeah.
Kinda. Yeah. I think I remember you from being on Moose's show or something.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I went to make coffee a while ago, and the floor got one cup, and then I made a second cup.
Did the floor enjoy it?
I guess until I had to clean it up. It was one of those K-cup pots, and I forgot to put the cup under the spout and put it all on the floor.
Kabir Das Doha. I'm not sure what that is. Let me look it up.
What was the language computer they were using when you got into it, Jeff?
We
Was
had
it
to learn
still
BASIC just to even work the computer. You had to learn how to
DOS?
talk to it in BASIC. And then I think
Yeah,
I had a little bit of Fortran or COBOL or C+. I don't remember what. In college,
yeah.
I had to take a computer class. he's bilocational. He and Hank both. I think they break time. There are
Boy,
multiple there are more
Frank
panels than
hammering
it's possible for a single human to be on in a given day.
They have
Frank's
the
mad because
times, the infinity time stone.
I know there's some Inception Charlie Kaufman stuff going on here with those two.
Surprised it isn't on a Simpsons episode predicting the future yet.
At morning, Frank, or afternoon, I guess. What's up with you? Are you
now
staying cool?
is Frank Canadian?
Unfortunately. Or fortunately for us. He is. He's like the Canadian stuck way out in their own time zone. That's how Canadian he is.
Mm. Does he suffer from the maple syrup brain disorder?
That is an excellent question. I think we're still gathering data on that, but very possible. I think he suffers from the cheap Canadian beer brain disorder.
Mm.
Are you talking about my vertical stream from last night? That'll never happen again. That was an experiment, and I agree. I'll take the hit on that shit.
Vertical filming is a crime.
Ought to be, but
I
ain't.
don't understand. I don't understand it logically, aesthetically. If it's because it's the size of a phone and that's the only reason, that kind of makes maybe a little bit of sense if all you do is live off of your phone, but that's not enough for me to adopt it. Yeah, Frank, let's try that. Let's see if this works. I'm down. We can start now. No, I'm just kidding. Oh man, we're almost coming up on an hour.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it seemed longer than that. Yes, exactly. It's a thankless task, but we all have our cross to take up. That's mine. I attempt enlightenment where I can, my own and others.
Can I ask you a question? Have you heard of the name Chili de Castro?
Who?
Chili de
Yes,
Castro.
Chili
yes.
who?
Delete laws. He's a clown.
Is he a panel
He
person?
he's a soft sit person.
Oh no,
We don't
we
even
probably
know.
run in different circles.
We don't even know what he is at this point.
I don't even know who he is.
He's.
Delete laws. Oh, what interests y'all about these types? Is it the fantasy of not being able to drive without a license
I
because
don't
you have a
know.
record and you can't get one?
I don't know. I just saw the channel. I also made him say yeet.
Wheat, wheat,
Yeet. I made
yeet,
him say yeet. Yes.
yeet.
YEET.
Ah, yeet.
Yeah, I remember that kid, Joe.
Did you make him say YOLO?
No, I literally kept on trolling him like nonstop. I even wrote a song until he literally
Thought
said
about it. Here you
yeet.
go.
Shiva is correct.
Was that
100%
for
Shiva.
bingo? Did you get something for it?
What?
Did you get something for it?
Nah, I was just like messing with him,
Uh,
like trolling him and stuff, just like because this is in one comment. It all started because in one comment, so in your next video say yeet, and then he liked it. He never did, and till he said yeet, I just kept on bugging him.
But it's so gay the way he does it.
I
Yeah,
guess I have to
now
look him up now.
Oh, I wouldn't, Jeff. It's a bad rabbit hole.
I hate how he like literally
I need a
forced.
visual.
I hate how every time he's holding it, he makes sure he is the
Oh,
one.
before he goes around and does the cop auditing.
He
Well, that's what he
basically
calls it,
Where
but he's got quite a few outstanding warrants in various states.
my impression was he was a troublemaker and that he
Yep,
looked for situations to turn into opportunities to
yep.
where like I even me with my rebellious, defiant, anti-authoritarian streak could have handled him in so many different ways to avoid the situations that he seems to go out of his way to capture. His name
Well,
is Delete Laws. He's like an auditor guy.
he made over $100,000 off his last escapade.
Yeah, I don't just blindly trust people. I need to be convinced that there's a cliff. Apparently, it works the same way because I try to point out the cliff to other people all the time, and they just keep walking right off too. So at least I check to see if it's a cliff.
I have a parachute on at all times, so fuck you guys.
That's the way to go.
You
Yeah.
One
remember
of those
that?
little hang gliders.
Remember that early computer game called Lemmings,
Vaguely.
Jeff? It's the little creatures, and the leader. You got to save them by doing different things. If not, they just
Fall off the lake and
fall
die.
off the cliff. Yeah, so all we are is a bunch of lemmings.
Maybe if the panel versus the cliff.
A paddle cliff.
And our Canadian has spoken.
Oh shit, he agrees with me. Oh, I'm in trouble now. Frank's gonna get jealous.
Sandeep, that's one of the ways I knew I was autistic because my mom called me one day and she asked if I knew about this show called The Big Bang Theory, and I knew exactly where she was going with it. And she said they have this character on there named Sheldon. She said, Jeffrey, that is you. So when your mom is recognizing you in an autistic sitcom character, and
Jeffrey.
actually that's one of when you're getting diagnosed as a kid, as a young person, that's one of the things they use is the parents' report of their experience with the child.
Yep. We went all through that.
So if your mother's identifying it and associating it with Sheldon, it's probably a thing.
Did you ever do genetic testing for yours?
No, they didn't. They weren't looking at any of that. What testing would they do?
Oh, they were trying to. I guess they were trying to isolate it. Is my best guess. Try to find a causation of it. But once again, they came up empty-handed after those hundreds of thousands of dollars they spent.
I'd be interested in what the test was called, like what it was for.
I still have the results. I just have to find them.
Yeah, Philip, I've been called Forrest Gump many times. Not by my mom, but by my peers, I guess. That was one of the names I collected.
I could see that.
Yes, many have. I guess if you're going to have a celebrity analog, that's not a bad one to have. Was it the maple syrup machine?
Do they have maple syrup ice cream over there or something?
Probably. I can't imagine Canada without maple syrup ice cream.
I think they make beer out of it too. Up
Maple
there.
beer, and bacon, huh?
Bacon beer.
Bacon, maple bacon. I don't know. I don't know. I know the only thing I know about Canada is what shows up in this Panelverse and Big Brother. Oh yeah, I forgot. Thank you for reminding me to promote myself. I'm so bad at this. Until we get monetized, which we're very close to. Last time I looked, we were less than 80 away.
We must
Still
have lost
unbelievable.
One. When I looked, it was 419.
There's my Cash App. It's make sure you put the 2, otherwise it goes to some other Gen X Jeff. Well,
Where's it?
so soon. Oh yeah, we did lose. We lost ever since the vertical. The numbers have been going up and down. That's another reason not to do vertical.
I'm telling you, vertical filming is a crime.
Well, it's. I guess I'm glad it's an option for people that want it, but it's definitely not me or my audience. Update it to. That bothers me for some reason. YTube. Plus, Hi-Fi calls himself that too. Whitey Gen X, Whitey Jeff.
Whitey. Oh, good one. I never even thought of that.
Stop it. Well, because midlife bro logic, they said he started streaming in vertical and all his numbers went up because the algorithm fed him to all these new viewers. So I tried it last night and my numbers went down. I say I knew my conscience told me not to do vertical.
It's time to
I even
stop.
said that on the stream and I violated it and I did it anyway and I regret it.
Well, you listen to Midlife. He's not exactly this level.
I got seduced by the least seductive person in the Panelverse.
Well, in case you hadn't figured it out, he's
Welcome to
a
my dating
in the
life.
closet. He's an in the closet liberal.
You think so?
Streams
Yeah.
diagonally.
Well, at least he streams. That's more than what I do.
Are you ever going to do a channel? Do you think about it?
I might, if I can ever get my schedule worked out right.
What schedule you got?
Well, I got 2 people besides myself. I got to take
Oh,
care
you're
of.
that schedule, yeah.
That schedule. But see, I did that once before. Because I used to do a Friday and then a 4-hour show on a Friday and a 4-hour show on a Saturday morning.
Oh, wow. What was it? Just like panel?
It could be, yeah. Except back then we had to use Google Hangout in order to do it.
Oh, was it streamed to YouTube?
No, it was before YouTube had the live stream capability. It was just a
Back in
that
its
exciting.
glory days.
TV website is what it was. Someone that had started up an internet television channel.
Dang, wow. I didn't know you were that elite.
No star or anything. No. But Saturday mornings was always
Look,
just,
Jess is offering to be a co-host.
look at that.
She could spin the letters for you, like Vanna.
Yeah, but
It's always nice to have a Vanna.
we'd have to negotiate a contract for her frogs, though.
Oh, like the frogs. Yeah. Her soundboard.
I think she's hanging out with Alex Jones with all the frogs in the
That gay
background.
frog chorus.
Yeah.
What is G30? Anybody know?
Gee,
Oh,
30.
Philip, do you have a clip? Let me look. Is it on Twitter?
G30? I don't know what G30 is.
Oh my God, Twitter's so frustrating.
Twitter? I don't twit or tweet or X or whatever the hell they call it nowadays.
An ad parody for Kamala. Okay, so do you think that it's something we're gonna be able to play? I'll risk it. I'll try it. Let me see. Does anyone know what G30 is, real quick?
No, I don't. SGBT
Is it a
or
car?
whatever
The
it's called.
BMW 5 Series consists of the BMW G30, or is it a gun? A Glock 30? I don't know. You'll have to give us more information. All right, let's watch this new video. Oh, the G20 summit. Well, we'll get to that in a second.
And your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden finally exposed the senility of the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist.
Is this
I may
AI?
not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if they're significant. And I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant. Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time. Another trick is trying to sound boss. I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and In my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. And okay, look, maybe
What
my
does
work
that mean?
addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but
That's
my
awesome.
knowledge of international politics is truly shocking. The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. It is an alliance that is strong and enduring. And just remember, when voting this November, it is important to see what can be, unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean Joe Biden. You think the country went to over the past 4 years? You ain't seen nothing yet.
I'm not that impressed with it.
Was that a picture of Reagan at the end of that?
I don't know.
It looked like it.
I don't know. That was an AI thing.
Well, either that or they took a word out of every one of her speeches and put them together to form that diatribe.
I don't know. I don't know what I was supposed
Dialogue.
to take away from it. It
It was a
They could do
pun, I
better.
think.
G20 summit. Is that something to do with climate
No,
change? It's a series of post-World War II initiative. Let's see. G20. A forum of the 20 largest economies in the world that meets regularly to discuss global issues. And that makes you paranoid?
well, then you got the G. Well, it used to be called the G8. Then it was the G7 plus one. Then it was just the G7 because they threw Russia out.
Now it's 20.
Well, the 7 is the most powerful countries get together.
So the other 13 are just like for just us
Tag along.
NPCs or associates.
Tag along, yeah. AIDS.
The help. Not lost. I hope these are your original lyrics. I want this for you so bad.
That's a good thing. I don't think he likes America very much.
I don't think he even knows America. I probably have a better sense of Canada than he has of America. Oh, okay. Thomas Dolby.
Dolby, is that the one that created Dolby sound?
No.
Go to what I know, huh? Uh-oh, you lost Kedro. Or Kidro, whatever his name.
Oh, Lord.
Or not.
Hey. Oh, to what do we owe the honor?
Oh, I just saw your live streaming. I see you in PF Young's channel a lot, right?
Oh, yeah. I hang out there and help him out.
Okay. Yeah, help him out. He needs all the help he can get.
Doesn't he? What's up?
I saw the other day that you got a couple people who hate me. It sounds like.
Oh,
right?
we might. It's very possible. I can't think of them right off the top of my head. Who hates Doug around here?
There was a guy with a mustache and dark hair and said I was cringe and said he hates me. Oh, and I'm curious to know why.
We got to find out who that is. Chuck, is it ringing a bell?
I think he.
I don't even know who Doug is.
Pine Creek Doug.
You don't need to know who I am, but nice to meet you, Chuck.
He's here to fight.
Doug.
I wish Doug and I mostly agree on things. I would make a.
Is there anything we disagree on?
Opponent. I'm trying. What did he say about you? That you were cringe? Oh, no, it's coming back. Yes, somebody was talking about you. It's one of our left people.
Yeah. Someone with a poor.
Was it Jack Darko?
The
little scientist kid from PF Young?
No. Well, I don't know.
He had a little mustache that he twirls while he talks.
Maybe. Oh,
He was
Jack.
on he
Jack
was on
Darko. Get Jack Darko in here if you can.
he might be passed out because he was on Verbal Combat all night and he got fatality'd and he actually hung around the whole time in case he got brought back and revived, and then he hung out for the after party. So when I woke up and went back to bed at 3 or 4 in the morning, he was still going on Verbal Combat. Hey, me.
That's
Yeah,
the
that is
guy
Jack
that
Darko.
Joe Cool was talking to, right?
Right, those two teamed up. They're buddies. So Joe Cool, if you're out there,
Oh yeah, bring him on.
get up
I'll
here.
t-
If you want
and
anybody that wants a piece of Doug, this is your chance.
I will tie up half my brain behind my back just to make it fair.
Come on, don't pass this up. Not Laws. I know you're a lefty. Come on.
Well, according to Chuck's picture there, I'm assuming he's a conservative.
Very much so.
Likewise for me.
Are you
But
are you optimistic? Or are you preparing for a Kamala regime?
I put it at 55-60% chance Trump will win against Kamala Harris.
Oh, I'm not as optimistic, but
What do you think?
I'm
Well,
excited if it happens, but I'm planning for the worst.
Seen a poll a while ago that had them neck and neck.
Well, anything can happen in the next 4 months. I mean, neither one of them are the greatest public speakers, so both of them could fuck it up.
Oh,
If the poll is the popular vote, you got to take that with a grain of salt. The person that being elected to president has to win the electoral college, so you have to go state by state. And when you look at that data, Trump looks like he's going to win.
They say that she's tied in some of the battleground states or something, that it was going to be close.
I think the only difference between Kamala and Biden is Minnesota, maybe Wisconsin. I mean, she might get a few more electoral votes than Biden, but
if Trump don't stick his foot in his mouth, I expect a red wave map like Reagan did.
I don't think we're going to get the red wave map.
Well, wait a minute.
We have Kamala. We might have gotten it with Biden.
What could Trump possibly say that
don't, Doug, don't
don't
even set it up. I know you're not superstitious, but
let's ask Doug about Agenda 25 or whatever they were talking about.
The theocracy, the impending
Project
theocracy.
2025,
yeah, and Agenda 47, which they assure me is the same thing.
I say we make the left as terrified as possible, get their mental anguish as high as possible, and then on day one, when Trump becomes dictator, and at the end of day one, there's people like that Darko guy. He finds himself still alive and not in a concentration camp. He'll go, "Oh, maybe things won't be so bad."
As a Satanist, I feel like I should be able to pull that off. But in me, balks. I need to explore that more. Maybe it's all this Jesus stuff I've been indulging in lately.
I think Project 2025, I don't think Trump was lying when he's saying he doesn't know much about it. Yes, a lot of his base support it, but Trump is a moderate when it comes to things like abortion and IVF. Do you think Trump is going to, on a federal level, do something to try to stop IVF or no? Do you think Trump's going to make? Do you think Trump's going to do on a federal level try to make all porn illegal? No.
And Schedule F, the thing about reclassifying the federal employees, that has them worried too.
How so?
I don't know.
It changes the overtime dollar amount. Where overtime?
Oh no, yeah, that's for everybody. That's with the National Labor Department. It directs the president to direct the National Labor Department to change the overtime rules for all Americans or something. So that seems like a little bit of overreach there.
Oh, I thought that was federal. Oh,
no, it's for everybody. But judges, Trump's most honest answer should be, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do when I get in office. So in a way, he's right when he says that he's not that's not his agenda, because I don't think he's going to know his agenda until he gets in the office, because he's
Well,
so
it's going to
moment
be a
to
lot
moment.
different than the first time. The first time he was very. I don't think the first time. Well, I was going to say he wasn't expecting to win. But now he's, I think, going to be way more organized and know what who he's going to put in his cabinet.
Oh
and
fuck. My
what- So what do you know about this Darko guy? Besides, he plays video games for a living, or what does he do for a living?
No, he works for Pfizer. He's a scientist.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, I really.
He's
want to
very
look at that.
intelligent. I think he's articulate. I don't agree.
He's guaranteed single.
No, I think he has a wife
Really?
or a girl.
Guaranteed
Yeah.
no kids. Prove me wrong
Were you
again.
interested? I don't know about the family situation, and this was all on stream, so I'm not saying anything that he didn't disclose himself in public.
So he's a big pharma guy. I mean, these capitalists. I mean,
How is he? Oh, he's on your radar because he came at you.
well, I'm just giving him a hard time.
Oh.
I'd like if you type in Pine Creek Doug on YouTube, and then you get like a whole bunch of hits of and your channel came up. And then
Mine did.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
so it because he mentioned you.
Yeah.
What?
You did.
I
So
need to
here's
figure out how to exploit that. Who
Yeah,
else can I mention?
So, for example, I'll do you here. So, what's the name of your channel, Gent?
He's only been on the channel like once, maybe twice, and
I'll-
already he's bringing me
Gen-
guest viewers.
Gen X Jeff.
Outliers in Exile.
So you type that into YouTube, and then you go to filters, and then you go, let's say this week, and so far everything is your stuff. Yeah, everything's your stuff. Well, that's so basically you can tell who is talking about your channel by just doing a simple search.
Wow! So you just type in your channel name.
Yeah, and then once you find the channel that's talking about you, you can bring up the transcript. So I can very quickly know what people are saying about me within 60 seconds.
Wow. Okay, so it shows the channel, and then so you're saying all of these search results are recent mentions?
Yeah. So what I did is I went Pine Creek Doug, and then I filtered it to last week.
Oh, that's what I'm not seeing.
Jefferson Spatchcock's talking about me. Let's see. And then, so I just basically ignore all my stuff. Jefferson Spatchcock again. And then here you are, Gen X Jeff, 6 days ago. So I clicked on that. And then I open up the transcript. And I go show transcript. And then what I do is I do a Control F, Pine Creek. So my name was mentioned 3 times in the transcript. Hang on a second.
Wow, that is some heavy duty.
Yeah, if you want to be a content creator, you got to know how to do this stuff. The name Doug was mentioned 12 times. Well, in fact, maybe you said something bad about me here. I've never heard a peep about it. Loser Doug, Pine Creek Doug.
I didn't say loser Doug.
No, you didn't say that. Someone else said.
Oh.
Rebecca Joe, are you listening? You called me a loser.
He's bringing all the receipts, confronting my chatters, my audience.
Timestamp 4:43. So Doug, but engaged in criminal conspiracy. In light of the new Supreme ruling, Doug's point was even, let's just say, well, actually, Doug's point was that hypothetical. That's you talking, Jeff. I was looking forward to screaming at Doug. Who said that?
Oh, I think some of them did ask, does Doug
Oh, yeah, that was
hang out
Jack
here?
Darko.
Yeah,
Jack
and I
Darko.
said, no, he doesn't really hang out here as far as I know. They were hoping. Yeah, they
The-
were hoping that you would show up.
And then you said, I agree on Doug on positions, but I agree his delivery could use some work. Oh, well, give me advice on my delivery.
That was probably. Oh yeah, that was the last time you were on PF Young's, I think, and you called in, and the audience was not responding well to you at all because of you came off condescending, patronizing, etc. But your points were sound, and so I was thinking if he could deliver it a different way,
Oh, you
some of
gotta,
it might get through. But then
you
that's
get-
the same advice people give me all the time that I
you
ignore.
have to remember PF Young's demographic. He gets a lot of younger people listening
know.
compared to
Just out of bed.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of them, if you read the comments, they think he is a phony, like he calls himself a centrist, but they believe he's just a conservative pretending to be a centrist. And so they're not going to, people on the far left who disagree with me strongly, they're not going to like no matter how I deliver it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not going to parse you accurately anyway. And I'm a little worried about our youth watching his audience because they seem very miseducated in certain areas. And I still say it's from lack of Schoolhouse Rock. All right, we have Megan in the back. Oh, me. Okay, I'm bringing you on. Don't porn bomb me. Trusting you. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm a horn bomber.
Okay, well, welcome.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
I've watched Pine Creek several times.
Oh,
So,
and
yeah, I mean, I do agree with your views on religion, but I am more left leaning for sure.
well, I can tell by your hair.
Really?
Conservatives don't
Well,
wear
can you
hair
tell
like
by
that.
my hair?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, conservatives wouldn't dye their hair that way. I'm just yanking your chain. I mean, of
I know
course
that. I mean,
yeah.
I'm a former hairstylist. I know that.
Oh, really?
But I'm just going to let you go on with it.
Well, maybe I'm right. If you're a former hairstylist, do you think I'm right? That people who lean left
No.
do their hair differently than people who lean right?
No, you have a lot of older ladies that are doing the bright colors,
Conservative.
like the blues and
Yeah, but are they
yeah,
conservative?
they're definitely conservative. Yeah.
Wow.
How do you know?
Their conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
What colors?
As a hairstylist, purple, blue,
Purple?
pink.
No, see that doesn't compute.
They don't
Conservative
dye
old
their
women
hair.
wear-
They don't dye their hair for their political. Like they don't all go red. Otherwise, wouldn't you think I'm conservative with my red hair?
Well, no, the thing that would make you think you're not as far left, like that you're maybe a liberal but not a progressive, is because your hair's still long. If you were to cut your hair short and like shave it around the ears and then put dyed purple, I could almost guarantee you would be progressive.
Well, why do you think that progressives dye their hair like the Karen haircut?
I love that lava lamp, by the way.
Thank you.
But are you progressive or you're just liberal?
I'm more progressive.
Oh, you
actually,
are.
so that-
Okay, so
yeah.
Are you woke level progressive?
It depends, I guess. I don't know. People think woke is all different things.
Well, systemic racism, implicit bias, like everybody's secretly racist and trying to keep black people or brown people down.
No, I'm not woke like that.
Oh,
But if you say like I'm woke, like I'm accepting. Well, no, I'm not going to assume everyone's racist. That's not progressive. But
Oh,
like I'm
it's
accepting
very
of
progressive.
people no matter their sexual preference, gender identity. Like I don't care about that.
Yeah, that
What
was
about-
classical liberalism in my day. That was a very sane, sensible liberal, mainstream.
I like
liberal
classical
position.
liberals.
Where do you stand on DEI?
I don't know DEI. I purposely have not been paying attention to politics. I needed a break from it, a little mental health break from that. So, because it's just so frustrating.
Diversity,
can I-
equality, and inclusion.
Yeah. Can I give you like a little political test off the top of my head?
Sure.
Like not like when I say test, I mean there's no right or wrong answers. I just want your opinion.
I know.
So
Yeah.
do you think that if you own a business and let's say, is there anything in you that would say, I need to have, let's say, a person of color working here? Would that come into your mind at all? And if so, would that supersede the best qualified person?
So I don't feel it's I need to have a person of color here, but I wouldn't focus on that. I would hire whomever is the best for the job.
Yeah. Okay. So
And to me, people of
That's how
color
they start guilting you for being racist
who's-
because you don't have a
but
brown
who's saying-
person on your staff.
well, who's saying brown people aren't best for the job? That's assuming that brown people can't do a job as good as well as a white person.
well, right. Yeah. And so you should just go by ability, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that doesn't sound too progressive to me. On the issue
But
of,
if she does that and no brown people end up being hired for whatever reason, she's going to get manipulated into feeling guilt or shame for being a racist. Even if she hired strictly on merit, if it doesn't correspond to their image of racial representation, there's still going to be consequences.
So question number 2, Megan. Teenage girl gets pregnant. Is it more of society's fault or more of the teenage girl's fault?
I think it's a mix of both, because I think that there needs to be more sexual education.
Which one more? Which one would you assign more culpability, more responsibility? Society
I would probably.
or the teenage girl?
Can I say the teenage girl and her parents or her family?
Yeah. Okay. See?
Yeah, I put more than 50% on the person.
Okay.
And the guy who got her pregnant, he is also culpable in that.
So the let's say the plight of the inner city African American, would you say that their situation in life is more than 50% their fault, and then let's say under 50% society's?
No, I wouldn't. I would say if they're if they're in a situation that they're born in, I mean, regardless of race, really, if like people that are born out in the sticks that are white and we would consider white trash, they have the same problems that a person in like the urban inner city would have as well.
Right,
it's hard to get away from what you're born into.
I understand, but remember you mentioned parents with the teenage pregnancy girl, and we could do the same thing here. Would you assign more responsibility? Like there's a problem, and who's most to blame for that problem? Society always has an effect, of course. Would you say with a inner city African American family, or lack thereof, is that problem more that family's problem? You put more blame on the family or more blame on society?
I wouldn't blame the family, just like I wouldn't blame the kid, because they're also stuck in they're born into the same situation, and sometimes it's hard to dig your way out. So that, I mean, it's still pretty close.
This is the progressive type part of you, I think, because it's what I call feel sorry forism. You say, I wouldn't blame the family because that would make them feel bad.
You said who gets more blame. And I didn't say because it would make them feel bad. I never said that. I said because they were born into a situation it's hard to get out of.
Right. So when someone is born, who takes responsibility for that? The society or the people who had sex?
Well, the people who had sex.
Right. So even being born into a situation.
So the people in inner cities or in bad situations should just never procreate?
I actually think it's immoral to procreate in a situation where the probability is high that you're going to cause suffering to the child.
Oh my God. My ex thought the same way, and he was a eugenicist. He wanted to sterilize poor people.
To me, this is just common sense. So, for example, I actually think most people don't disagree with what I just said. They're just too gutless to admit it. And
people shouldn't breed.
No, I think that I don't think there should be limits or anything like that, but I do think it's something that people should think about. But it's also society is, well, especially in right-leaning areas, they're making birth control like taboo and not easy to get. Sex ed is not as common either.
Yeah, I agree.
know?
Like
I mean,
I'm for contraception and stuff, but like when it comes to sex ed, all you need is a billboard. Don't let the thingy go into your thing if you can't afford it. Like you don't need much sex ed. Just there's many types of sex. You just say don't do that type.
yeah, but when you tell people don't do something, they're going to do it. You know, like
They're
it's just
gonna
better
do
to
it
educate
anyway. Like when
them.
those
It's
urges
Some
better
yes,
to
some
come on.
no.
educate them. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then some grow up to be just very, very
Okay. New question. That was
like
question 2.
abstinence.
Question 1 is you made me think you're not a progressive. Question 2, you made me think you are.
I told you I'm more leaning progressive, but doesn't mean I am
Yeah, we're gonna
fully
fix that today. You're
involved
gonna
in progressive.
in 30 minutes you'll be a conservative.
Right.
Do you think humans born with penises and testicles should compete against women in sports?
I really don't have an opinion on this, actually.
You
Like,
don't.
How can you
well,
not?
so because I guess maybe it depends on the sport. I don't know. I just like, yeah, I don't think
Okay,
I really haven't put thought into it. So let me think about that a bit.
let's
and then
think
come
about it
back
right
to
now.
that.
Well, let's think
Okay.
about it right now
So,
together.
all right, let me brainstorm then with you. I do think that, I mean, obviously there are differences in the physicality of men and women, and that's why there's a difference in the sport. So I think I think it should be based on the physical attributes. So
Okay, so on average, men have more physical strength, speed than women, correct?
yeah,
So would it be fair then, on average, for men to compete with women,
no,
biological men? Okay,
no,
so we've figured it out, right?
But if you call
yeah,
yourself
but
a
that's like
woman,
the physical sports,
but if
you
you
know,
call
like the physical sports.
Well, I'm not talking about chess.
well, hold on. But if you
Obviously.
okay, but hold on. If you call yourself a woman, you should be able to compete with women in sports, right?
When you go to the doctor, they don't go off of your gender identity. They go off of your birth gender. You know,
Well,
they go off your biological gender for a reason.
Megan.
I'm asking Doug
Well,
specifically.
no, that's just logic and reason. It's not.
I know, but that's what.
Yeah, you just think logic and reason follow conservatism. What it doesn't.
On that issue, I think you and I are aligned. But Neurojack, you asked me a question.
Yeah, so I'm asking do you think that if a person identifies, they should be able to compete in women's sports or not?
No.
Okay,
No.
that's fine. So the question I'm trying to understand, like you bring up some interesting points with the whole breeding thing. So let me try to bring some contention just to make it, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'll be very respectful. I promise. You were debating like Andrew Wilson and guys like this, right? Before.
I've talked to Andrew Wilson like 2 times, 3 times.
Okay, but you didn't debate him on these kind of things yet, right?
No.
Okay, cool.
Not really.
I don't know your background. I just know that that's the only place I know you from. So just fair warning. I don't really know much
What
about
an association.
Yeah.
You're a little quiet, Jack. If you could bump yourself up in volume.
Jeff, do you want to bump me up or should I do something?
You're better now. You just went closer to the mic, I think.
Okay, cool.
How are you now?
Okay, cool. So on the position, I just don't want to get away from the whole breeding thing. So here's my question: are you pro technology in general? Do you think technology is a good thing?
Yes.
So somebody has like a lot of background noise. I don't know who it is. I just let you.
I thought it was you.
No, it's
Here,
not.
let me mute. See if it's me because I have my air conditioner.
Yeah, it's Megan.
Sorry, it sounded like someone's on the middle of a 6-lane freeway or something. Sorry. So my question is this: so you're pro technology. So here's the thing. So like, as there's a lot more humans now because of technology, yes, but you're saying that if we can't afford kids, then we shouldn't have kids, right?
Yeah, but again, like the afford is subjective. Like I do think you can have kids making 50,000 a year, but if you're at the poverty level, making let's say 10, 15, 20,000 a year, you should. I think the wise thing to do is not procreate.
Sure, but most people are not wise. So I guess my thing. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is this. So like, there seems to be a program worldwide to quote unquote educate and quote unquote industrialize in order to bring the birth rates down. Which there's arguments for and against it, and I'm not going to argue the point too far. I'm just more interested in the fact, like, with all the technology that we have, the technology should be focused on making people A, smarter, B, more moral, and C, make our lives easier in the aid of being a human, i.e. reproducing and having children and making the world clean and water.
How do you make people more moral? And why is it the role of the state?
Well, I'm saying it's the role of technology, allegedly. I mean, that's
Really?
Shouldn't it be? I mean, what's the
Moral?
point of?
I don't know if I want my technology
Isn't
making me
technology
moral.
isn't technology supposed to be
I want to be responsible for my morality.
sure, but in general, shouldn't technology be for helping humans? Isn't that the point? Or are we subject to technology, or is technology subject to us? Which one do you think it should?
Well, ideally, I think to us, subject to us.
Hi, Gen X Jeff. This is Pilliter, and can you hear me?
Yeah, hey, Pilliter, and we got
Just
TML
wanted-
here too, so welcome. It's a
But
Just wanted
double
to go
feature.
Neuro,
brief
was
on-
there a question in there somewhere?
I was just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Sorry.
like, so do you think that, so in light of what you just said about people shouldn't be having kids if they can't afford it, if they're not smart enough, whatever. I mean, the point is technology ought to be human focused, or should that not be the case, is what I'm really getting at. Like,
Yes.
if we're at a point where we have all this infinite technology compared to 100 years ago, yet it's harder to raise 2.5 kids in the world, that's a problem, I would say, right?
Yes.
So my point is, like, is technology hurting or harming us as a human race? That's kind of what I'm. Okay. And I guess what I'm saying is, if we're not, like, obviously the people who are making the technology have a lot more power concentrated. So if they have your ideal and they say, well, if you're not smart enough to get with the program of what we're doing with technology, well, we're just going to phase you out. Obviously that's coming pretty quickly, I would say, right?
Phasing people out?
Huh?
I want to add in on this technology rant. I think I've had this talk before about whether ethics and technology, but really quick, I think a lot of people are trying to conflate technology with betterness, and sometimes it's not improvement on the lines. For example, at one point in time, people didn't have television, and so people would be reading, say, newspaper and novels, and you could say back then, almost more than a century ago, people were more literate. They had to read books. But when TV came about, you could just look at images and you had to less focused on the English language. And therefore, as things were going animated in emotion, as this picture play, the forms would already be there for you. Unlike the previous form of looking at English words, you had to put it together and put in some work. Now, it's not necessarily to say that movies and images have replaced literature, which some people actually believe. The point is that that's a conflation between you thinking for yourself with a medium that encouraged critical thinking, and now because we can get a message out much more faster, it doesn't correlate to somebody who's going to be more of a critical thinker.
The problem is not the problem is not the medium. The problem is parenting. Like, I have two. I have one teenager, but I have two kids in teenage years. Basically, we didn't let them on social media. Guess what? Their mental health is way better than their average peer.
Well, I mean, aside from parenting, I'm just saying we're so saturated in a society of moving images that it's hard, that it's almost become second nature to use TikTok as a vehicle of expression. But at the same time, you can't say it's the same as it was 200 years ago when we were writing Victorian novels and sort, because it was almost a different zeitgeist and a mentality.
But again, it's the parenting. Like, if my daughter looks at TikTok and the girls on there and thinks they're idiots, most of them. So, and she gets that there's this whole idea of so many girls, they see these beautiful teenage girls and say, I'm not as beautiful as them, and then they get down on themselves. I taught my daughter at a very early age that there's always going to be girls better looking than she. And that they're freaks of nature, that most people look ugly naked, and that's okay. Like, it's about parenting. And so whether the medium is TikTok or reading, like, I'm getting the sense that you want kids to read more novels and that sort of thing.
Well, not exactly. I'm just saying it's just.
I don't disagree with you.
We have to surf the way, and we have to make the best of it. There's no way we're going to go reactionary and back in time. It's just that we're in an age of digital liberation, and we don't know how to. We still don't know how to use it. It's like we're in an age that's actually better than it was 100, 200 years ago.
I agree.
Yet the irony is, we can click on YouTube and almost know things without reading, quote unquote, now. And this is just going off on Gen X Jeff's point about, is technology better? And I would say it's almost as foggy, and there's more of it, but it's people haven't been taught to use it the best way.
Well, again, that comes to parenting. Like if you like, technology is amazing right now. Like you can get answers to questions so quickly, and yes, you can maybe be misled, but even that, you can get very quick information on fact checking and people disagreeing. And so, yeah, like for example, if I want to come up with a title for one of my YouTube videos, I just go to ChatGPT and say, come up with a great title for this. I just give some general keywords and it does.
Right, like they had this there's this one case where ChatGPT actually taught a young person how to meet up, somebody who was pretending to be an underage person to meet up with their with a 30-year-old man, you know, and even taught them how to lie to their parents about it, you know, and then they went to Congress and said maybe we should regulate the ChatGPT, right? So you're creating conversation.
It's Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, I whooped this guy's ass one day on a stream.
Oh Lord, what did I walk into?
Yeah,
well, you know,
yeah, totally dismantled him and some.
Yeah, my bum is still red.
Digital.
Okay, well, 150 years ago, it's hard to know that Frederick Engels thought that platypuses were not real. He thought platypuses were made up by some weird Western Orientalism, and he read it in a book until he went to the Berlin Zoo and actually saw a platypus. And he said, oh my God, Marx, there's such a thing called a duck with a raccoon mixed together. In fact, there's a cult called the Platypus Society that assumes that Marx was wrong in its assumptions of orthodox Marxism, and you have to insert Trotskyism. And because
Peter, why are you telling us this?
Because there was no Wikipedia back then. That's the funny part. If there was a Wikipedia back then it's like, oh, their platypuses are real. I believe that. But because there was, it's really hard to. I can't believe that there's a raccoon duck.
Yeah,
and so that was the thing.
Yeah, I can't believe I whooped this guy's ass on a stream so bad one day that in the middle of me talking, he has to remind himself about it. And that's pretty sad.
Are you going for a round two?
So one of my solutions to
I think it'd be sewed up in like 5 minutes, just like last time.
So NeuroJack, getting back on what we were talking about with the breeding, the population.
Yeah,
thing,
the poors.
I think that pushes and pulls advertising works. Not so much for guys like me, but for the general population. And so what you have to do is you have to highly incentivize, let's say households that are making 6 figures a year to have kids. And the way you can do that is say, if you have 1 kid, you pay 0 tax for 1 year, 2 kids, 0 tax for 2 years, 3 kids, and so forth. Like, or you can even go more than that. You basically say, not just this $2,500 a year child tax credit. You say you're tax free.
For how long?
Well, that
also,
could be
I mean, we've all
negotiated.
seen the movie Idiocracy, right?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I thought that was a documentary.
So right now we're having a situation where, like the movie is, like the people who are producing the most in society are the ones who have the least education and the least amount of money.
Yeah,
I feel that's certainly true for my life.
Yeah, that's partly a problem due to the technology, right? Because because there's large scale technologies that are too hard to manage for a single person, so they have to have the rule of experts in order to manage them.
How does that put into people procreating?
Say again.
How does that? He says the technology is the reason that idiocracy might be a thing.
Well,
they're directly related. I can't believe you can't see it. You know, you can't see how people are getting stupider because of machines.
Oh no, I do. I'm talking
ridiculous.
about stupid people procreating. I'm not talking about the overall stupidity.
Well, I can explain it for Machine Lives because I don't think he did it well enough. But let's say you're a teenage boy or even in your early 20s, and you have a choice of taking a risk and asking a girl out, spending money on dinner, movie, whatever, or you can just go on Pornhub and masturbate. What are you going to choose?
The
Right.
girl.
I would
Right.
still
So,
choose
so,
the
so
person
is that a
because the
problem with
Pornhub
people's parents, or is that a problem with the technology?
No, I agree with you, Machine Lies there. I think that's parenting, but because here's an example where technology,
Right, that's
like
what you said. That's what you said. That's not me. Right?
So with technology, it's very easy now to avoid all types of negative emotions and feelings of being rejected by a girl when you can masturbate 3 times a day to any woman you want in 3D and VR. Why go through all the work of why take the risk of being hurt, or then getting married and having kids and your wife leaving you and all that sort of thing, and taking the kids and
Because
half
we're
your
social creatures.
Yeah, or companionship is still a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah, but you can get companionship with, like, a man can get companionship with another man, and not in a sexual way. I'm just talking, like, I think Einstein said that true love is only between 2 men. And it's because, like, men,
I believe it. I believe it.
men need women for a sexual release, but as far as companionship, I think a lot of men would say, I'm happy just going out with the guys. I mean,
Yeah, I think what he meant was friendship and not.
yeah, well, I am talking
There's
about
a
companionship is not about
fantastic
sex.
book by Jeffrey P. Dennis. It's called "We Boys Together: Boys Before Girl Craziness," and he talks about how before the 1950s or 60s, it was natural among American boys to love each other platonically as they do with girls. What happened was during the post-war era, something happened where they were forced to settle down and get married and have children, and men were developing more competition and hatred towards one another, and therefore then it became supposedly gay to have a friend, another guy
How were
friend.
they forced? Most people I know did it because they wanted to.
Oh,
It was
remember,
by
this is
far
a
the
gay
best
academic.
quality of life.
This is a gay academic, so the bias is he misses the
Oh,
homo.
okay. Say no more.
Okay, yeah, he's a gay academic, but he puts a really good light on
He
this
probably
because he
dresses
said
really well.
prior before this, it just shows you that like boys would just be talking to each other like girls and getting emotional, and that was
Me?
disappointed by the
Tell
50s
them.
and 60s.
Look, she caught it. Tell them.
Oh, someone just made a comment. It's like Megan blabbing in, and I'm like, I'm actually pretty quiet. Sorry.
But yeah,
Sorry, I
Jeffrey
spoke
P. Dennis.
incel.
Yeah, I didn't get that comment. Was
yeah,
that
I
comment
went
saying Megan's doing something bad or we're doing something bad?
No, just Megan's
So
blabbing
I'm
in.
so confused. What did I explain badly that you clarified for everyone? I'm so confused.
Don't be so touchy.
I'm so fucking no, but I'm so confused. Like, what did you clarify for everyone that I explained so badly?
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Something about technology, the relationship between
Well, it went
technology
technology to homo. It went to
parenting
homo
and poor
guardian
people breeding and black people not
to gay guardians,
having
and that's
growing
what Albert
computers or
Einstein
something.
said, which
Yeah.
like basically Jeffrey P. Dennis would agree upon. But that's like a gay bent towards society.
Bring back the gay patriarchy. I think this is where it was all going.
Well, that's what Will Fellows wrote. Gay men as the keepers of civilization, and he argued that gays.
I
have to
wouldn't want.
sacrifice
Oh no,
children.
I wouldn't want any part of that civilization if that's who you're trusting to keep your gates. No,
That's Will Fellows' book about gay men as the keepers of civilization, and that
I'd
gay
be
men
very
forego
worried.
having children.
Jeff, are you
art.
saying gay men can't protect a society?
I'm saying I would not want them in charge of the keeping
homophobic,
the culture
bigoted,
of the civilization.
racist. You must be.
But according to Phillips, they
hey, I watch
do.
RuPaul.
Smart gays.
Oh, the smart. No, those are the worst. The smart gays are the worst.
Yeah, and Fellows is saying there's a cabal
that's where
of
the
gays
highest rate of amoral sociopaths
like
is.
Pete Thiel and Tim
subjectively.
Cook. They're all in that like higher echelon of gay elites.
Yeah, I
that,
can't
rule
stand
over.
them. The A gays, I can't
gay?
stand them, and they hate me.
And he's
Tim
just
Cook-
saying this is because it's an energy that's needed to protect Western civilization. It's being basically
No,
homosexual
Western. Well, it depends on what you call Western civilization, but like classical Western civilization will be just fine. The church has already proved it's capable of maintaining it and keeping it going. So I think now we have the technology to maintain the tradition, like the Western intellectual tradition ourselves. We don't
It's a
need an
fairy tale
institution
that
to
goes
do it
about.
for us.
it's a fairy tale that goes back to Plato grooming Alcibiades and having a gay relationship together. And this is the core text of Platonism, and that you could say it's a subtle relationship between philos and being friends and male bonding.
Pill
which is a part.
eater, I'm not liking you anymore.
I'm just telling you alternative
Very
gay theories
polarizing.
about societies. It's just
I know,
like we
but-
was gays.
You're talking like a philosopher.
It's but this
We
is
do
what they
that
believe.
here.
Yeah, this
is what they believe.
This Pine
That's
Creek
one of the
fellow,
Spurg
he likes
perks.
to say that philosophy is bad except for when he wants to use it.
Well, I'm
No,
just
no, no,
saying that these
philosophy,
people,
technology.
they believe we was
Not philosophy.
gays. Like, these are like the gay elite we're talking about. So whether they're good or bad, they're looking
There's
after
no
us.
gay elite. I'm gay elite. There's no gay elite.
Yes, that's what Gen X Jeff is the gay elite. So I'm just saying.
Okay, Megan, can I ask you question 4? Because we're trying to figure out. She's leaning more, I think, not progressive in my mind. I think you're 2-1. Oh, you're muted.
We don't want her
Only Brown's boy allows me to talk.
blabbing in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Don't want to talk
very
too much. He might piss the incels off.
So here's a question on immigration. Do you think people who cross into our country, not at a port of entry, should be allowed to stay in this country?
No.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think they should.
Jeez, that over to windows creeping
But
fast.
I think there should be more ports of entry that and have an easier way to get the legal.
Fine. But in my
immigration.
mind, you're less progressive now, especially because no
I never
men
said
and
I
women's
was
sports.
100%.
I know. No men and women's sports. Immigration should be done at port of entry. That when a teenage girl gets pregnant, it's more her responsibility than society's.
It's definitely not mine.
What else? What other questions can we ask to see? Oh, is there a question number 5? Is there a tax rate above which it's unethical to tax people? So in other words, let's say a person, let's say Jeff makes $1 billion a year income.
Yeah.
What should he be
while
taxed?
I would be so happy. I would pay all the taxes y'all wanted me to pay.
But
That's
my
how
question to
happy I
Megan
am.
is, would you say 100% tax everything, the billionth dollar and more?
No.
100%. Do you think that's unethical?
Yes.
Take all of it?
I think as long as this country's giving religion free taxes and like just ridiculous cutbacks, I don't really think they have a leg to stand on that. So I'm talking about the government on that. So I think that rich people, they have enough money. Why can't they be taxed the same amount as the poor people?
Poor people pay way less
Not
tax
amount,
than
but percentage.
poor people pay as a percentage a lower tax rate than rich people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we looked up the brackets the other day.
Well,
there's no one above 37%.
We give corporations and such. We give a lot of the money tax cuts.
Right.
Well.
Tax cuts go to people who pay taxes, right? And the rich people pay a lot of tax cuts. Pay a lot of taxes, so they get the most tax cuts. That's just science.
Simple math.
Yeah.
So, but getting back to my question,
me, I just
would you be okay with 100% tax rate for billionaires or even 100 millionaires?
100% tax rate? No.
Yeah. Okay. Why? Why wouldn't you support 100%?
Because she's not a progressive.
That's the simple answer, but is there any reasoning?
Are you talking about 100% of what the percentage everyone else pays? And are you talking about 100% of their money or their income? What do you?
100% of their income on the billionth dollar. So you make 999,909,000,
Yeah.
but on the billionth dollar, they just confiscate all of it. Would you support that?
All the taxes that they owe, but I mean, it's not like we're taking all their money.
No, all their money over $1 billion. But It doesn't
It's
matter what she
literally over
says
$1
because
billion.
until she has $1 billion, we don't know how she would really answer.
What are you gonna?
True.
What would you say when the dollar inflates and $1 billion is equivalent to $1? So then what do you do?
Neurojack, that's a completely different issue. But Megan, I haven't got an
Why is it
answer on
completely-
this.
No, I would say they should pay their fair share of taxes, no matter
Okay,
how
but
much
what's
they
fair
make.
share? That's what we're trying to get at.
100. Well, I think they should pay 100% of their taxes. Why should they get pay cuts just because they have
think
more
you-
money? So we should just let them
I
keep more
think
money.
you guys aren't on the same.
Yeah, I don't think Megan's
I
understanding my
don't think we
question.
are.
Okay.
Well,
Let's
Maybe
make it-
Machine can explain it better.
let me ask Doug one question. What's your
Good one, Jeff.
political vision for what's your ideal society look like?
That's a long explanation, but
Yeah, by the way, I probably can explain
I
it
don't know.
better because I'm a master of philosophy and cunning linguist. You know, so you know, I have many skills in my repertoire. You know,
That beard must get in the way.
And bilingual.
no, I'm better at it than you. It is what it is. The ladies want what they want. You know, it is what it is.
Well, but
That's
Doug,
true.
what's your political vision or ideal society? Are you like a Platonist or a fascist, or what's your Christian nationalist? I don't know your position. That's why I'm trying to figure.
I think the American system that we have right now is pretty darn close to one of the best systems you can have. A mixture of capitalism and socialism, but more capitalism. Mixture of freedoms versus regulations, but lean towards more freedom.
So the fact that that basically admixture European people have dropped to probably close to 50% of the population here, and our culture has disappeared in the last 50 years. How do you reconcile that with your argument?
I don't even understand your question. What?
I don't either.
American culture is disappearing, or at least the European elements of it.
You said you like the American system, but the people that made the system what it is are basically disappearing from the system. So how
No,
do you
they're not.
reconcile?
I disagree with that.
It wasn't just
Yeah,
Europeans
Jack's
that
fun.
made it.
Mm-hmm.
It was predominantly 90% admixture European people. Yes, it was.
White, yeah.
Yeah, but you're talking about
It's-
ideology, and I don't think it has disappeared.
Now it's down to almost 55% or something like that.
Yeah. So how do you reckon? So you don't think the people matter? So they can bring they can bring 90 million Syrians to America next week, and it'll be just the same system. It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter. I do think that and this is why I'm big on immigration. I do think that part of the immigration process should include respecting of the Constitution, respecting of the republic that we have and how it's set up, being willing to fight for it.
How many foreign countries have you been to?
Canada and Mexico.
Okay, if you go to Asia, for example, let's just pick a random country. Let's say you go to Mongolia, right? How many Mongolians do you think come here to America and they say, you know what, I don't need my culture anymore, and I can maybe enjoy the fruits of the American system without really caring about how I'm getting it. What do you think the likelihood of that is?
You want a percentage or what?
Sure.
I would say it's over 50%, but it's about time, right? It might take years, or might take the second generation.
Right, exactly, and it's a gamble, is what I'm really trying to get at. It's a gamble, right?
Yeah,
right.
But to me, like the culture of, let's say, that Protestant culture of hard work in the United States, that if you work hard, you can fulfill your dreams, or at least get on the road to your dreams. I think that's valuable, and I do think that the way the United States is set up, it tends to lead people to assimilate to that.
So it sounds like cultural Christianity. Is that kind of what you're referring to?
Yeah, you can call it cultural Christianity. It doesn't bother me. But to me, I think that you could also call it
Christian Satanism.
How would you define cultural Christian? Like, what's the definition of that in your opinion?
Well, I don't really espouse to that framing, but if someone else wants to frame it, I think what they mean is some type of values of don't kill
Well,
people.
hold on. I recall that you were on with Andrew Wilson and you considered yourself a cultural Christian. Am I wrong about that, or did I hallucinate when I was hearing that? Or,
Yeah, you're wrong. Yeah, you're wrong about that.
Well, how come you said that out loud with Andrew Wilson?
I said it exactly how I'm saying it now. If somebody wants to call me a culture Christian, I'm not going to push back on them. I don't care what they call me.
You framed yourself
So that's a vague, semi-ambiguous
Now you're
affirmation.
denying it.
Yeah,
right?
I am denying it because I don't think I said it.
You just now framed yourself.
Well, he's here right now. He could tell us right now.
He just asked you about a series of beliefs, and then he called it cultural Christianity, and you agreed to that. Like, why are you so confused? Like,
do you think there's a difference between me saying, "Hey, everybody, I'm a culture Christian," versus someone else calling me a culture Christian and me not pushing back on it? Do you see a difference there? Use your brain.
He asked you what you think it is. Do you want to answer the question? What you think cultural Christianity?
Yeah, and I was about to answer it until you butted in. So one of the culture Christianity is
you said you didn't. You don't frame the issue that way.
Love your neighbor like yourself, and that includes not killing people and so forth. To me, these will also be secular ideas, but
I don't think you need cultural Christianity to be a good person.
Yeah, there's nothing specifically Christian about what you're talking about. The problem. You framed it as secular and Christian, right?
This is why it's relevant. Hold on. Let me just bridge the gap because I know what it is. So I think I know what it is. So I think here's the thing: is I asked you what your ideal society is. You described it, and then I pushed back, and then you refined your argument a little bit, and you said the American system will basically eventually assimilate people into it because of its strength. And I kind of, to some degree, I agree with your proposition. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, the role of cultural Christianity, of these niceties that we colloquially refer to as cultural Christianity, or what you would say is secular humanism or whatever, how important do you think that is to the American system? And do you think that it can maintain its place as we globalize the way that we are?
I think it's very important.
I'd like
he's
him
asking me machine lies.
Yeah. I'd like him also to answer within the framing, because you never did. What is a cultural Christian? How you would frame that. But anyways, because you just blew past it 3 or 4 times, and now you're having your own private conversation with neurodivergence.
Machine lies. You beat me on one debate. Don't beat me in another one and humiliate me in front of all these people, please.
I'm just asking you a simple fucking question, buddy. Like let's not have a meltdown here. It's just one question. Go ahead and answer.
I can't be humiliated in front of all these people.
Are you going to answer the question? Are you going to answer the question?
Neurojack. So yes, it's very important. And this is one of my concerns about the rapid decrease of Christianity within the United States, because one thing that Christianity is good at is giving people a sense of identity, a sense of grounding. And this is one thing that, let's say, especially people who used to be Christians and then become atheists, lose. And then they go batshit crazy. And they start what I call the religion of feel sorry forism, or virtue signaling, or I gotta protect these people because that's my new hope, meaning, and purpose.
That's an atheism.
What's the difference? Yeah, what's the difference then between Christianity and secularism?
Well, on the basics, things like you don't want to steal from your neighbor. You don't want to go up to your neighbor and kill them. Christianity says that's bad. Human secularism says that's bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know. I asked you what the difference was between the two.
The differences of the grounding. So the Christian would say that I am a child of the King. Christ lives within me. So you can do all these bad things to me. It means nothing, because ultimately it's about the afterworld. It's eternal life. There's the difference. Secular humanists can't say that.
I just want to inject this very quickly, just to bridge a lot of gaps really quick, and hopefully it sticks with you guys. Okay, so Friedrich Nietzsche said something to the effect of, give a man a why, he can accomplish any how. And I guess, is that kind of what you're getting at? Is like missing in the secular humanism?
Yeah, I do think it is missing. I think they're trying to replace Christianity and even Islam with some type of utopia ideal. Even transhumanism is an option. But I don't think it's going to work.
I don't need that's not most secularism, though. Certainly not secular humanism, but I think it's that needing of a shared myth or shared story to keep a society together. And Christianity's been one of the predominant ones for so long in our culture that
you can't, if you're trying to replace something that has succeeded in bringing people to peak morality, more or less, is the way I would look at it, right? Again, Nietzsche was trying to point out that we're headed towards nihilism. If the population is
no, he thought we were already there. He prophesied we were already there.
Well, yeah, exactly my point. So now
the minute we gave up the idea of God, we were there.
Well, he also said that Christianity and Platonism was the source of it, was the source of liberalism. But anyways, that's for a whole nother discussion, I guess.
Well, I would say Platonism grew up in the same environment that allowed for liberalism. Like there was a whole shift of values across many domains at that time, and so they all kind of emerged as part of one milieu. And there are definitely parallels between Platonism and early Christianity when they were formulating it.
Well, and again, here's the point of me bringing all this up, and I think we're all kind of like talking past each other a little bit. So I'm trying to bring us where we're getting close to like an actual point of contention where we can discuss it, which is, how do we handle this situation? Like, if Christianity and Platonism has brought us to this point and technology has brought us to this point, how are we going to turn this giant ship around with 6 billion people and people dependent on a system that is flawed? I think that what they're pushing us towards, RFK Jr. is like, oh, we'll just make Bitcoin the semi-standard for
Why are you
currency.
worried about him?
Okay,
I still don't know what the problem we're trying to solve. What is the danger that you're looking for a solution for? I don't think the system's going anywhere.
Because we're being alienated from the system that's supposed to serve us. That's my point. How are we going to gain back any autonomy in a system?
I'm not alienated from it. I guess we don't have the same problem. We're not looking for the same solutions.
How are we alienated?
Well, if we switch to Bitcoin as our major currency, and basically we have to have a cell phone in our hands to buy and sell and trade. You don't?
I hardly ever use my phone ever.
You think that you're missing the? Oh my God, dude! You don't understand that that's going to push us to a position where we have less control over our environment.
Well, it hasn't so far. I guess when it does, I worry about it.
You're worried about this one world government thing? Is that what I'm hearing, sort of?
I would say that things have accelerated so much that what we know is really only about 200 years old. I mean, this is a little fringe theory. Sure, there was something called Platonism, and sure, there was a man called Shakespeare. But modern academia is almost as old as the United States of America. And if you think about how we're in that North American sphere, everything we know now was something invented in the last 300 years, which seems like forever, but in all due respect, it's just us responding to certain events that were happening in 3 centuries. And so I think what's going to happen in the next century, things are going to be so wild that we will have better technology, but we'll feel so isolated from everything else that things are bound to separate and divide. And what we know now will be kind of something of a fossil in about 80 years from now.
Oh, I'm glad I won't be around. What do you feel separated from?
I think people feel separated from community and calling themselves in a stake of society and having meaning in life. And we are given this power of extreme individualism and the transhumanist spirit. But like I just said prior about technology, it's like almost we don't even know how to use it. It's kind of this kind of Frankenstein mentality.
I feel more community from technology the last 4 years than I did in real life because I'm using technology to increase my sense of community.
I think we're in a
Pill eater, you can fix these things. These things are very fixable, and it gets back to parenting. So basically, let's say I was dictator of the United States and I could enforce the laws perfectly. Say no kid under 18 can use social media.
No, they need to know all this. You're holding them back.
I do believe in El Salvador power, so I agree with that.
Well, let me say that I'll take your position, Doug. But why isn't the system doing it, and how can we actually get them to do it? Why aren't they socially engineering us to do what you said? Why are they doing the opposite?
Because nobody's social engineering us at all.
You keep saying they. Why aren't they doing it? Who's the they here?
Oh Lord.
Well, if people are, if you're saying that so if you're implying that I'm saying that the average person has no agency in the government, okay, perhaps that's what I'm saying, or perhaps the people that are managing the system have so much more leverage than the average person that most people are just going to take the path of least resistance.
He feels powerless and a victim.
Yeah. So, for
And I
example,
don't.
as a father, now my kids are adults, but when I was a father, I control whether they have a cell phone or not.
Right. So
I
you don't
control if they see social media and then get
you don't see the
anxieties.
state.
And
Okay, so you don't see the state as our parent in some to some degree.
Did
I'm a
you homeschool?
conservative. I'm yeah, we did homeschool from K through 6,
Do
but
Not everyone can homeschool.
do you see the
that
government?
maybe not everyone should have kids.
Do you think the government is like a mother?
So the system decides who has kids, but
Yeah,
the
but they're
solution
going
is
to
the
parenting.
people
anyway.
do.
But the solution is
You
parenting.
can encourage people
How
without
idiotic.
make it. You can encourage people and do pushes and pulls,
Okay,
incentivize and
that's what I'm
decentivize. You
Think
don't have to make it law. I'm not
not
talking
the
about
people I know
it's
that are
against the
having the
law to
kids.
have kids.
Hold on. Everyone just wait. You see how you dodge my question by saying, well, who's the
Right.
they? And say, well, we should encourage people. So which one is it? How can you say that there's no they? Who's going to do the encouraging then?
Me, I'm doing it right now. If you're listening and you can't afford to have kids, then I encourage you not to. Done.
You just said that the state should intercede people's
No,
decision making.
I said no.
You're talking about incentives, though.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Who
incentives.
gives those incentives? Who has the power
I
to give those
did.
incentives?
It's called a carrot and a stick. If you
Your
don't
life will be
provide-
better if you have kids that you can afford. There's your incentive.
Yeah, but that's not what people actually do. That's not how they work on the ground in reality.
Right.
And I like to plan my society around reality.
Well, yeah, and
What's your
but
justification
another thing you can do is pushes and pulls, like shaming and praising.
Yeah, but
So
have you seen that work on the population we're talking about?
It
'Cause
works on children.
doesn't seem to be having much effect.
it does work. You can look at it on a cultural basis.
It works on children, of course.
For example, I came from a very closed culture called Mennonites, and they shamed the crap out of people who had
And
kids.
that's what you're trying to do to us because we're trying to help you understand what you're.
And I tell you, the amount of teenage pregnancies among, let's say, Mennonites, the Jewish Orthodoxy, extremely low, because they shame the crap out, and they praise you when you do it the right way.
So why wouldn't you want the whole world to become Mennonite then?
Oh, I'm okay with that.
I'm not wearing the little hat thing.
There'd be a lot less death because
Yeah,
most
so
of them
much for
are pacifists.
secularism. Yeah, so much for secularism and Christianity being the same thing. That just went out the window. Did you see what you're doing? Like, your positions
Machine
are
lies. I said some things they agree on, some things they disagree.
All right, okay.
Oh, why are you humiliating
You
me
think-
so much?
You think pacifism is something that you develop?
Develop?
Yeah, that you develop with, by being raised in your experiences.
Yeah, I do.
So you tell me Mennonites never like go out and duke it out in the set
No.
behind the. Really? Are you sure about that?
You don't think there's any pent up aggression in population of people that
What's
are
in your
Christian
basement?
people?
Come on, let us into your bedroom fantasies.
Yes, Mennonites fight, and but I was raised, for example, I'm not 100% pacifist, but I lean pacifistic. But I had a pastor that told me, "Look, Doug, you're a Christian. When you die, you go to heaven, and if you are a good father, your kids will be Christian too, and they will. If they die, they go to heaven. So if someone comes into your house with a gun and wants to kill all of you, let him."
Well, at least defend.
Whoa.
At least defend.
No.
Is that why you're not a Christian?
Hardcore Mennonite. No, that has nothing to do with it. But a hardcore Mennonite would say, you do not know the eternal destiny of this person coming in with a gun who wants to do harm to your family. You do not know. Only God knows. You don't know. But you know yourself and your family. Your wife knows herself. And so forth.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So hardcore Mennonites would say to die is gain. In fact, that's scriptural. And so if you want to come into my house, I don't believe this. I'm not saying I believe this right now, but I was taught by some pastors, if a criminal wants to come in your house and kill your family, they're doing you a favor. Let them kill you.
Well, I can see why the religion.
This is why we have cuckonservatives and the word cuckold, and that's why liberalism is that.
What? Where did that come from?
That's what it is. It's cuckoldry. It's how white people are genetically cuckolds, and
it came from the heart.
Yeah. I mean, as an antichrist, I have to come in and be devil.
No, this is one interpretation of New Testament teaching. Like, and if
I know it's unfortunate.
It's a pretty but it's I think a pretty correct teaching interpretation.
This is why I'm
Like,
not a white
don't defend
person.
your kids and let them get murdered. I disagree.
Yeah, no,
I just feel like
I
If
disagree with
that's
that too.
cultural Christianity, I'm against.
But well, it's very hard for Americans to swallow that teaching, and that's why there's not too many Mennonites in the United States. Most of them.
It's just
are in Canada.
And their little
evolved
hats.
into liberalism.
They're very
It's
out
just
of
liberals
sync.
are being cucks for someone else. They're just being cuckolds for letting
Did you
non-white
truly
Some people
believe-
don't mind being cucks, though.
But if you truly believe heaven is this amazing place, I mean, and earth is garbage compared to heaven, and you're gonna, when you die, you go there, and if you can die as a family all together and go to heaven, and no more
I agree with
cancer,
Gen
no
X
more
Jeff.
tears, whatever. I mean,
I agree
the
with Gen
logic
X
is
Jeff. It's
sound.
consensual cuckoldry.
The logic is sound that you should be a pacifist and let the worst case
People don't
scenario
run
is
off
that
of logic.
they don't kill you and that you just maybe maim you. That would be terrible.
It's a consensual cuckoldry. It's an idealized love of suffering, and you suffer so much that's supposedly a virtue.
You don't
But
suffer
again,
that
I don't
bad.
think I don't think it's the wrong.
Jeff,
It's the wrong
comment.
type of
Jeff, do
suffering.
you have a comment on that? Jeff, do you have a
On
comment
what?
on that?
What?
On masochism?
What about it? Suffering? I don't know if the type of suffering in Christianity is the same type of that I know in masochism. I don't know if it's the same type of suffering.
Well, it all goes back to desire, I think, is what he's trying to get at. Like, if people say if you desire suffering, then it's different if you say, because like Doug said very plainly, the suffering is the problem, right? So I'm trying to bring it back to what he was arguing.
There's different types of suffering. There's suffering that comes through fulfillment of a desire, which would be masochism, and there's suffering that comes from frustration of a desire.
Thank you, Jeff. Wait, that's what I'm trying to get at. Thank you. That's perfect. That's what I'm trying to get at. There's a difference in suffering. You suffer for some reasons. It's a different type of suffering. So that's what I'm trying to ask Doug. What type of suffering are we trying to avoid? And what's the prioritization list of those differences?
What a stupid question. I mean, having your arm sawed off slowly is a bad type of suffering.
You said what you said is people who can't afford to have kids are making their kids suffer, therefore they shouldn't have kids. So I'm asking you, what type of suffering is it different between that and what you're talking about with the guy coming in your house and kicking in the door and murdering you and your whole family?
The degree. But
okay, so you don't suffer because you're getting murdered, and that's fine. But then if you have kids and they suffer, then that's not fine, right?
Yeah, getting a shot in the
It's
kneecap
better to
is
get
bad,
murdered than to be
and
poor.
and not being able to afford to pay your kids to eat is bad.
Well, as one of
what are we
those poor
talking about
kids,
here?
I'm glad that they did not listen to you.
How is that not nihilism? Because what you're saying is it's better to be dead.
Now we're on nihilism.
That's what
I think we gotta think in terms of evolutionary psychology, that there's RK strategy. There's people that have one child and groom the child to be good. And then there's people who have many children. They don't live good lives, but hey, there's 5 of them instead of 1. They might not live the best lives, but they have more, like cockroaches. So it's rather you have to respect the RK strategy.
That's not very
About my
nice.
family like that.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, don't respect it seems like we're disagreeing with K strategies. There's a place.
No, Jack,
and
are
time.
you a Christian?
It sounds like there's a bunch of elitist snobs in here. Is what it sounds like.
Are you a Christian, Neuro Jack?
I'm a Christian, but a lot of Christians don't like my version of Christianity. So yeah.
Okay, yeah,
That's true for most Christians.
because I think
They
a lot of
call
your
that
pushback to me
New
is
Ageism.
you
Yeah.
want. My guess is the real pushback you have against me, because you said a key word, nihilism. You know I'm an atheist, right?
Yeah, I didn't know, but now I know. Thank you.
Okay. What did you think I was?
A cultural
Well, I figured
Christian.
you were agnostic or atheist. So
A troll.
you know,
Yeah. So your main goal here with the conversation with me is trying to convince me that atheism is bad, right? Or agnosticism.
Well, I think I'll tell you, I'll just try to make it as simple as possible. Do you think that the universe came from something or from nothing? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Neither. It's eternal past.
And is there a rational, mathematical, or scientific comprehension that makes you have that opinion, or is that just an opinion?
Yeah, I think it's reasonable to say that something material or like energy has always existed rather than something supernatural or spiritual. Is a new category of existence that has existed eternal past. To me, it's more reasonable.
So why do you care if you call that God or you just say that existence?
The only difference is that eternal past of energy or matter, it doesn't have a disembodied mind, because I don't see any evidence that exists.
That perfect. So you don't believe that in a universal mind. You don't think that the universe is embedded with mind. Essentially, you think that it's
Correct.
mostly. You think the universe is dead, and then we have a little sparkle in our makes us aware.
Yeah, our human mind, consciousness.
What's the rationale behind a creator, though?
What's the rationale behind that the whole universe is dead? How would you assume that? There's no,
What's
The whole universe isn't
No,
dead.
don't avoid my question, though.
no, I'm trying to ask him what he thinks, and he said that he doesn't believe in a universal mind. He doesn't think that mind is.
You think rocks have a mind?
No.
Okay, no, let's let Jack ask the question. I don't think
Why would
when
you
you
assume-
said God, I don't think the concept of God usually has this disembodied mind. Do you believe that? Because that's what I understood when you asked me the question.
That is the case, and it's not the case.
What? It is the case and not the case?
I think it's more rational that it is the case that there is a universal mind.
Oh, okay. Okay, now I'm going to freak you out here a little bit, Jack. I disagree with that, and that's okay. We can agree to disagree.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just trying to understand.
Right. So what you know is based off of a belief, and there's no point in arguing for it, or you don't have to justify it to anyone. It's just your belief.
Well, it is based on some things, like just like Jack would say, his belief that God exists is based on some things, and I can say the same that my belief that no God exists is based on some things. But I think we're not omniscient, so I'll admit that I could be wrong, and Jack could be wrong.
Yeah, let me explain why this is important. Okay, so it doesn't seem like I'm just attacking you erroneously. What I'm trying to get at is whether you're right or wrong. If you take that position, and that you can see a material, pragmatic drain from that decision, versus if people believe in a God, how would you how do you reconcile that holding that belief?
I'd encourage people to stay a Christian.
Right. Okay. So now we're back to culture of Christianity, where it's like it's good for the culture to have Christianity.
No, what I'm admitting here is that what Jeff alluded to earlier, that I do think that we evolved with these shared common myths in order to help us survive. And if someone, like, I honestly think most people can't handle being atheists.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on that.
Amen to that.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on that. I think that it's even if you're right, this is the point I'm trying to get at. Even if you're right, and I know I sound like Andrew Wilson right now, but even if you're right, it's worse for the average person to believe that. And so again, just to take it back to Plato, it sounds like the noble lie is essential. But I guess what I'm saying is, are you sure that your position of being no God is more rational, or is it just that you have to like bite the bullet and say I lean slightly to the side?
Yeah, based on your God, I'm very sure. Yeah.
And rational is following the evidence. So until there's actual evidence for God,
there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in science.
I agree with Paul.
But I'm not exactly sure what God you believe in, Jack. So I got to maybe pull back on that. But if you believe in any type of omni-type God, I am very, very confident your God does not exist.
If any kind of omni God, you mean like omnipresent, omnipotent?
Yeah, omniscient.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let somebody else jump in. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, Flaky Jake, I am a Satanist.
I think the problem of evil destroys your God if you believe in the omni God.
Huh?
Oh, he left.
Oh, he bounced. He probably his connection.
His Neurojack is bad for.
He's one of our.
His
we're trying to start a
issues.
fund. We have a few of them that need.
We have Sean from Ireland and
new mics. Yeah.
Can't afford mics. Yeah.
Well,
but it really
I still didn't
matter.
get an answer on how the creator is more rational, or there's more evidence towards that stuff.
Well, each person should be able to believe what they want. It's not my job.
They're going to anyway. I mean, I couldn't stop them.
Well,
right. And it's not my job to beat a person to death to believe what I believe.
But they shouldn't judge people and make laws that conform to their own religion.
Well,
we have separation of church and state.
We do, but this slowly that line is getting blurred.
But where do you see it being blurred? I mean, I know about the 10 Commandments law, but that one's not going to hold up. So I'm not worried about that one.
Chuck,
the Satanic Temple are constantly winning victories, fighting for the separation of church and state.
Chuck, you said that.
but also,
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm wondering if
I
I
ju-
am.
I was just going to say to Chuck, like he made would sound like a lovey-dovey comment about people can just believe what they want to believe. But you have to understand, Chuck, if Jack believes that there's a heaven and there's a hell, and that if you don't believe the right proposition, someone goes to hell, he ought to try to convince people to become a Christian. That's his job. We should admire it. Not
he believes in spiritual warfare. There's an extra dimension to reality that gives context to the events, political events, historical events, etc.
Right. So if he believes that, he's being consistent within his worldview to this is a bad thing. I don't want Chuck or Doug or Megan or Jeff to go to this bad place. So I need to convince them. That's completely consistent within his worldview. And we ought to admire it.
But you don't convince them by arguing until you're blue in the face. You lead by example.
Or you do a miracle. That'd be better.
Give us some wine.
Give us a sign. Yeah. Take my water-soaked napkin and light it on fire in the name of Jesus. But Megan, you brought up Jeff, you brought up the 10 Commandment thing and separation of church and state. Like, I'm an atheist who has no problem with a school wanting to put up the 10 Commandments in school for some reason. I think it'll be thrown out by the courts, but even if it wasn't, who cares?
I don't have a problem with it only selfishly because as long as they're going to have like these DEI posters and all the other crap up, then they don't have the right to complain about other people putting their posters. But that's a really low level, immature response to the issue to begin with. I would rather see none of it in the schools. Like put some multiplication tables up or some vocabulary posters.
But putting up the 10 Commandments in a school, I actually think it will do more harm for Christianity than good. And here's why. Because there's going to be kids. There's going to be kids like me who's going to say, "Thou shalt not have any gods before me." Huh? Hey,
and while you're learning about mythology.
Hey, Rashesh, aren't you a Hindu? Yeah, I'm a Hindu. Yeah. Don't you worship Vishnu? Yeah, I worship Vishnu. Hey, everybody, maybe we should
go to hell. Rashesh is burning in hell.
No, maybe we should put him in jail. Like it will get that type of conversation going, and I don't think he'll end up in jail. But it will say this is how irrelevant the first commandment of the 10 Commandments is. We have this all-powerful God saying, "Don't have any other gods before me." But if you want to worship other gods, you're free to. So what? What is this God going to be mad?
What about teaching creationism? Are you okay with having full-on courses in creationism taught to elementary school kids?
No, I don't think you need any.
Yeah, no, I would be against that, and I don't think that's happening in public schools now.
There's a push for it by creationists. I mean, I'm not saying
some of the homeschool might be in some of the Christian private schools. It might be.
Yeah, in Christian private school, of course. Yeah. But you say creationism, which is different than ID, intelligent design. Yeah. So I am less. I'd push back less about ID than creationism. Creationism involves like the 7th day, the ark, all that sort of thing. Not the ark, but
either of them are. You're teaching things in schools that have no evidence. In public school, that's what I'm saying. If it happened, if creation,
they're doing the same with all this alternate history they're teaching too, with no evidence,
which is also bullshit.
Yeah. Well, but the beginnings of if the thing is, it's evolution is not the beginning of it's not creation versus evolution. When it comes to the beginning, like why are we here? Like these are philosophical type questions. These are questions that science can't answer. So if it's in a philosophy class, then maybe, it's fine. But if it's in
philosophy, sure. I'm talking about public elementary school. And I mean, and evolution has nothing to do with like the Big Bang or
right.
Growing up, we had that kind of stuff in science, like the universe, the Big Bang, the planets. And then some days of the week after school, we would go to catechism at the Catholic Church, and they would teach us creation and all that. And for some reason, it all held together in our little child brains just fine. But it didn't come from the public schools, like the religious version. It came extracurricularly through the church.
Yeah,
But
and schools should focus on education.
if let's say 90% of the United States were to become creationists tomorrow, I think it's at 30% right now. Heck, let's say it's 99%. Do you think our lives would actually change much? I say no.
Sorry, I
As
missed
long
what you
as they
said
keep
there. My audio cut out.
In other words, the point I'm making here is that a lot of atheists get scared about this. Oh, you can't teach creationism in school. I look at it the worst case scenario. Let's say you did, and 99% of America became creationists. What would actually change?
I'll tell you what would change the ability to think, because once you let in one false belief and you make it okay, you can
That's a
build a
slippery
whole
slope argument. I get it.
superstructure of beliefs on top of that I would not want to take that risk.
But I mean, practically, like,
And I'd say,
would a
why
plumber
waste this?
do his plumbing differently? Would unless you're an evolutionary biologist, there's some occupations where it would matter. But for most occupations, like even flat Earth, if 90% of the country became flat earthers, do you honestly think that it would change on?
Yes, I would not have a strong.
Yeah, because we wouldn't be able to use GPS, like all the things that are based on the globe.
No, you still would use GPS. Just people would have a false belief about how it works.
Well, but then if that spreads, then we're not going to have smart people making things like satellites and GPS and stuff like that. We wouldn't be
that would be the 10% who don't believe in the flat Earth. What I'm saying is that on most of these issues that atheists freak out about, that on a practical day-to-day level, it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah,
real quick, we have someone in the back, Joseph Robinette. Does anyone know him? And can you flash your camera so I can make sure you're a person? Okay, I do know you. Welcome.
But what difference would it make?
Hey,
like somebody's pointing out, if the world was flat or if the world was round at this particular point in time, what would
Yeah,
change?
and he's saying it. Yeah, when most people don't even really think about the shape of the Earth.
I think
It doesn't affect them at all. But they're like people, different science, like schools and all that. They are funded by the government or even private businesses. And if 90% of people don't believe that what they're doing is even practical or for real, then they wouldn't get funded anymore, and then we just become dumber and dumber and start believing in stupid.
That's what I'd worried about, like how far we've fallen since Sputnik. We
That's
have
the
to have
purpose
some
of,
shared reality, like actual reality, to go off of, but I wouldn't want to compromise that in any way.
That's the
right.
purpose
So you guys
of
think public schools
TikTok
are
and
great,
shorts.
right? You guys think public schools are awesome.
I'm a product of
No,
one,
I mean,
so make your own conclusions.
They've got their pros and cons. I'm not saying they're great and they're awesome. We need to start funding education. We keep pulling funding, and teachers have to pay out of their own pocket for school supplies. It's ridiculous. We're not getting the best teachers because the pay is so low.
Right.
And
like
also, education
I
is
think
not
Doug
consistent across the
homeschooled.
country.
Right. Like Doug homeschooled, right? So he obviously thought there were some key problems with the educational system, right?
And he thinks everyone should be able to afford or have the ability to homeschool, but that's just not the case.
It's actually very, very cheap to homeschool. But I understand the point you're making as far as not the curriculum, but you're talking about a parent has to stay home.
Parent has to stay home. Also, not every parent is smart enough to teach.
And it's very antisocial.
It is very antisocial. Socializing is a big
That's
part
a
of growing
total
up.
misconception.
That's a misconception.
Never,
Yeah.
never been in homeschooling.
There's called
I've never been
homeschool communities.
Well, what are the problems with tradition? I mean, with public school, Doug? Or you chose to do that for what specific reasons?
Because I think a lot of kids are totally messed up, and I think that you don't have to homeschool for the K through 12, but if you homeschool from K through 4, even, you give your child a much better chance of success.
Because of the other kids. Because
they're
a bad influence.
Yeah, kids are not good role models for other kids.
I would think that would be more pushing in high school. The bad influences that come from kids.
No, but if you do your job well from K through 4, I mean, you've won. High school is not the probability of your child being influenced in a negative way, peer pressure in high school drops tremendously if you do your
Mine was
job.
worse in high school and after than as a kid. I'd say after puberty.
Well,
it might have been. I didn't grow up a Mennonite.
He's going to blame your parents.
Yeah, I would just blame your parents at that point.
And why would you say the kids are so bad?
Because a lot of the parents are bad.
So there was actually a lady from San Francisco who traveled to 3 different countries, third world countries, and she studied this. And part of the reason why the children are bad are because they're thrown on to entertainment all the time and thrown on to the side, and they're not actually included in like the daily chores and the day-to-day activities. And because it's easier for a parent to make dinner than it is to include a child, because having a child in the kitchen with you is just
Sometimes
is
it's easier not
disaster.
to include
But
the
after
child.
after a few years, they start making the dinner for you. They start washing the dishes for you, with you. Like, they start taking care of business as if they were you. They're like little you, and they learn by following what you do. And if you teach them, they'll do that stuff. But most people just throw them in front of a TV and say, "Have a good day."
Yeah, I think Moose brings up a great point. The problem with today's parenting is that too many people are letting technology raise their kids, right? And the parents that let them do that, I think Doug, agreed before that the parents who let their, kids be raised by technology are bad parents.
That
right?
was
But the
true even
problem,
in my generation. I would
right,
say we were raised by
right.
technology more or less.
Right. So one solution is to take the kids away from the school so that they're not influenced by the kids who are influenced by the parents who are exposing their kids to the bad technology. Right. But that still doesn't mitigate the problem that's being caused by the technology.
Well, it's being caused by the parents as well.
It's not just the technology though. It's the act of not like including them in the mission. Like, you literally have to show children what to do. You have to give them the program. They're a blank operating system, and they're just soaking up everything. So when you instead of showing them what to do, instead of just telling them to go play with toys or whatever, that's why we have all these passive people in the world, all these people that can churn away, because they, instead of having to take care of the responsibilities in life, they're told to go and be in the corner and go entertain your brain. And it's so fucking weird, dude, but it extrapolates to all these people today and how they're all fake introverts. They're not really introverts, they just don't know how to communicate.
Right. Like, it's so funny that, like, as you described how to mitigate the effects of technology on your children, you said it's the operating system in the child. So you describe the child as a piece of technology. It's fascinating.
Well, I don't really know how to describe the brain. It's so like,
Right. It's complex. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's so complex. I think
Some
this is
more
the
than others.
thing
Well, just to still, man, I was the product of that parenting style you're all describing, and somehow it wasn't the end of the world. Although,
it is
I'm not the
interesting.
best
I
model of
don't understand
success
why.
to show for it either.
I don't understand why you guys are being so down on technology. I read there's this genius Steven Pinker who told me that we're living in the best time in human history, and only a tiny complainer would
I'm not down on
disagree with.
technology.
Only going to get better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly. Like everything that. How would you like to be some benighted Stone Age savage? You need to stop romanticizing those benighted Stone Age savages and realize that
That sounds
neoliberalism,
hot.
neoconservatism, and modern capitalism would produce the best possible world we could ever hope for.
But that's the fallacy, though. That's not what I'm advocating for, and that's not what I'm talking about. It's basically like it's a human element that we're losing out because of what's going on, and we're losing an opportunity to shape these children into real people, and make them like, give them real skills and shit. Give them the ability to be independent when they're an adult. You know,
Who needs to be
They
independent?
will be.
Just get in the pod and eat the bugs, bro.
Jesus.
I do agree that technology is stunting the growth of the youth, but it is beneficial once you're older. So I do think that parents should regulate the use of, or the screen time at least, and like,
Moderation. Yep.
I mean, moderation is key in everything, and the extremes of anything is bad for you in a way. So it's just, but that's up to the parents at that point because it's going to be available for anyone to use when they get their hands on it.
I remember being in the 5th grade. They went out and dug a small ditch at the back of the schoolyard, and they would take us out there as part of our physics and math class, and we had to design and build a bridge and they taught us how to measure, cut, all that, but we had to come up with our own designs, build the bridge across this ditch to see if our idea would hold up or not. They don't do that type of stuff anymore.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
My son had in 8th grade. They had to make a business. He had a business class, and
Oh,
they had
excellent.
to
This
Oh,
was
he had to
public
wow.
create his
school?
own business and have a business proposal and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I'm not saying it's across the board. Teachers are failing our kids, so just having technology entertain your kids instead of taking them under your wing, teaching them how to cook. My mother, she always said I had kids to do all the chores, and like so I didn't have to. It was a kind of an ongoing joke, but she did. We were put to work, but I also had plenty of playtime. But that was back, in the '90s when I did. Well, I had a Game Boy, but I was still outside.
I mean,
Degenerate.
every generation says this that the generation,
Yeah.
the generation below them is horrible and how they gonna live. They say that all the damn time. We're fine. We're gonna make it. They're gonna make it.
Hopefully. They just seem so miserable now compared to ours. But then I was a miserable goth kid, so who am I to judge?
Well, it's also the cost of living. The lack of movement in wages, and I mean, it's just that is
for everyone.
definitely changed people, like how they live.
Yeah, I agree with you. That will definitely change. I mean, that's changing us. I mean, as adults, you know what I mean? How we live and all that. So, I mean, I hate when I go grocery shopping, I might cry in the car before I get in or get out of the store because of the prices. You know what I mean? I don't really cry, but it can be it's depressing.
It's triple digits for like 4 bags of food.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So it's ridiculous. So I mean, it's just, and on the graph, it's just like the cost of living keeps going up and wages barely move. I mean, they did a big movement and everyone's bitching about, the minimum wage in certain states.
That was a huge mistake.
I've worked for a national company. I live in Oregon, so minimum wage is pretty decent. But when I worked for a national company, they're paying minimum wage. Well, Oregon's minimum wage to educated, non-entry level positions.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. What it is.
But the kids will
So
be
that's
fine.
something that it's not. Yeah, that's not even on technology. I mean, technology affects everything in different ways, but I mean, those parts, that's just.
Well,
just
they're having to
crappy.
adapt to a technological environment that we did not have to adapt to.
True, and their attention spans are definitely short.
I've noticed that too, and they don't read anymore either.
Well, it's interesting. I have a lot of experience being a school teacher. I have a lot of experience with people in the younger generation, and there seems to be any sense of optimism about the glorious future that technology promised to everybody. I remember all the optimism back in like the 90s and stuff. It's all gone now. Like they feel enslaved and imprisoned by technology. They feel enslaved and imprisoned by
What
their.
can they just put their phones down?
Addiction. It's an
Do they have
addiction
that option?
because actually it's the same way that a heroin addict feels enslaved and imprisoned by heroin. You can't put the needle down.
That's
I
like our
agree.
digital crack addiction, our digital drug addiction that we have here on the Panelverse. You're right.
Same thing. Same thing.
But we're not
Well,
allowed
I
to use
guess the
it
solution
anymore.
is to give them some content worth consuming.
I mean, look at, you want to send a text to somebody or you want to type a message now on a lot of these platforms or even your phone. There's a character limit. So you learn to bastardize words to make them fit to try to get your point across, and you're losing entire sentence
Oh, I thought that
structure.
was just it, trying to understand my accent. All right.
Well, it's an age-old process of deterioration. If I had to make a serious book recommendation, I would highly recommend the work of James C. Scott, specifically the book Against the Grain, in understanding really the role that technological advancement has played in the human species for real.
For real, for real.
Hello, guys.
Hey, Zed.
Hey, I'm Jeff. I just wanted to apologize for attacking that individual the other day. I just really don't like him very much.
I'm trying to. Oh, you're talking about Mike. Well, apparently take a number because he's used to that.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Well, he brings it upon himself, to be honest.
So allegedly, I personally haven't seen him do anything yet, but
Yeah, Mike was nice to me and Jeff the other night.
Well,
Anyway,
he likes women.
What he was saying though about technology, what you guys were just talking about, you know, this is going to be probably unpopular, but Ted Kaczynski wrote this like manifesto that you can listen. You can listen
TML went over it on the show the other day.
Yeah, by the way, I read that the manifesto every day on my show. But
Look how well he turned out.
Yeah, but he was right about a lot of things, man. I haven't gone through the whole thing yet, but just what I heard, like the first hour, he was making.
Well, so was Hitler. Hitler was right about a lot of things.
It's not
To answer your question,
hang on, y'all. We need it.
Daniel, I see your question up there. To answer your
Yes.
question, in case you were not, in case my intonations didn't make it clear, I was 100% being sarcastic. I am probably Steven Pinker's number one enemy. I think he's an academic fraud. I think you need the only reason why he's given the position that he is because he says exactly what the corporate neoliberal system pays him to say, and because of his connections to Jeffrey Epstein. So, you know, he's and everybody who is out there pushing these narratives, whether it's, you know, the PDF apologist Steven Pinker or the, you know, serial sexual harasser and sexual assaulter, Michael Shermer, or any of these other clowns, they're always in it for some sort of nefarious purpose. And as far as I'm concerned, the people that are out there pushing that Whig history Pinker narrative are in fact the scum of the earth.
Well, I have a slightly different opinion. Daniel, I think there's more than one lane on here because I claimed my lane very early and I said it's the best time and I stick by it and I've always stuck by it. I'm an optimist, a tech optimist.
Yeah, me too.
And then I think there are other people that are in the other lane, but they're different groups of people. They just all happen to be on one stream. So I think that's where the confusion's coming in.
That's why the conversation is, you know, happening. If we all agreed, you know, it would be boring as hell.
It'd be an echo chamber. Yep.
Yeah.
And I
But
don't like
I mean, the boomers, you know, my mom's generation, she's a boomer, and they'd be like, oh, you know, they're listening to the Beatles, and the Beatles, oh, rock and roll, oh, they're crap, blah, blah, blah. And then Gen X came around, you know, oh, they're horrible, blah, blah, blah. I mean, even my millennials, back in the day, we were called Gen Y. And they'd be like, Gen Y, why are you around here? You know, like they'd ever be like, Gen Y has nothing. I mean, you're not going to do nothing with
do
your
we
life.
have any new Beatles? Is
Easy
TikTok
on
the
the
new Beatles?
boomers.
What's the Beatles of this generation?
Oh, I don't know.
The Beatles of this generation? Of which generation?
The
youngins coming up now?
Yeah.
Gen Z or
is it
Taylor
Z? Are we on
Swift.
Z?
No, we're not on Z. We're well past Z.
Oh Lord, my head's already spinning. Cobain
My
was the last Beatle. Oh
like
shit.
Gen X and millennial music, and my son likes the older music, so I don't think there is many.
I don't know. What's that one?
Rap.
I don't know.
Rap
Billie
is
Eilish.
the
You can't just say a
Easy.
genre is to be
rap
hated.
is the equivalent to what the
It may not
Beatles
even be
were.
music. It may be some complete other medium. Maybe AI will generate the
Or it could
next
be
new
a
defining
small
generational phenomena.
It's the Karen epidemic. That's our
Oh
new Beatles.
God. Oh.
Watching
Well, they
Karen.
just got superpowered today with Pine Creek Doug and his he showed them how to research on YouTube when they're being talked about so they can go stalk all the people talking about them.
Yep.
So the Karens just got supercharged today. Nope, sorry. CG. No. Not after last time.
I'm kind of disappointed that he left as soon as I showed up because I wanted to pick that Doug dude's brain.
I think it got too many people for him, to be honest.
Oh well, he'd been here for a while too. He might have just had his window.
I mean, I've talked to him before. He's an okay guy. I don't have anything against him. I just obviously disagree with a lot of what he has to say.
Well, who knows when he'll drop in again. Doug, if you're out there, thanks for stopping by today. I enjoyed the chat.
But what I see a lot on these panel shows is people want to attack on a personal level as opposed to attacking the idea.
Well, I know, but that's where you can tell who has an argument and who doesn't.
Yeah.
Can't
And
you
I
do
always
both?
find when people go to go to personal attacks, they lost the debate because that's not a good argument.
Yeah, but it's more fun to do both at the same
That's what
time.
Andrew Wilson does all the time.
Oh, I
Every
hate.
time he's
I
getting cornered on his
despise.
logic, he starts attacking.
I despise that man. Oh,
That's back if you that's who are doing the personal insults that are relevant.
Yeah, but I like what Zatoichi said. He said that's how that's why you do both at the same time. You win the argument and insult people.
You gotta be like one guy now and just be like, yeah, well, you're fat. Ha.
well, yeah.
Like,
Once that
okay, that doesn't
homins
help.
come in, you lose.
Agreed.
That's just my own personal philosophy.
I agree with that.
You know, or they could be the big champs of debate, and when they're losing and they don't have an argument, they could start accusing you of being a PDF and threatening to have you swatted.
Been
Yep,
there, done
that
that.
also happens.
Yeah, been there, done that for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Me and
Like,
Chuck
I'd
know.
rather have conversations than debates, you know? Just talk it out with people. Then
for sure.
Eventually, you either say, okay, bye, I see you believe this way. That's amazing. Believe that way. And I'll be like, and I believe this way, but you're still cool as long as you're nice, you're a kind person.
Yeah.
Cool, I got you.
I talk to people I don't agree with all the time.
Yeah.
And I try to
it
go
makes
in
for
with
good conversations.
I try to go in with an open mind that maybe you're right. And if you are right, I'm willing to change my mind.
If you are right, I'll let you know.
Yeah, but if you're going to just belittle me and berate me, and I'm not even listening at that point because
Oh yeah, of course.
you've lost the argument.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah, I
man,
agree.
that's the way to look at everything. Take it with an open mind, and if they convince you of their argument, then you were either misinformed or you just didn't know any better until that moment.
Exactly.
But if they don't make a good argument, then what's the point of, I don't know, trying to convince them, I guess.
Yeah.
Some people you'll never convince. And it's not necessarily about convincing people, sometimes about the audience just listening to both sides and experiencing that, hey, there is another side.
And
I knew
day
people
and
that
age,
really thought nobody voted for Biden. I'm like, a lot of people did not like Trump. It's like,
yeah, I voted
they
for
do
Biden.
exist. you know. But I've, you know, I was in a part of a channel that like the channel owner really thought that like nobody voted for him. I'm like, a lot of people did, you know, like a
Well,
lot of
nobody
people.
voted for
They were
Biden.
ready
They
for the
voted
change.
against Trump.
Well, still though, that's still a vote. Like that's what I'm just like, you know, I'm not a fan of Biden, but you know, I'm not going to vote for Trump.
And it
So
seems to be a lot of the philosophy of, or the grounding that I'm right, you're wrong, that settles it.
mhm.
There's no middle road to me, it seems like, because everybody just goes at each other's throat to prove that they're right.
Well, that's
And it gets
easy
to
to
the
do on the
point.
internet with social
Oh
media.
yes.
I
Amen,
think they take
brother.
their cue from the politicians too, because there used to be like both sides did used to work together, and now it's just like you can't work with them and be on our team still. You know, it's
What's
just
on your screen? Is that what, popcorn?
it's
Is that a?
popcorn.
Oh my God, that's so cool. That's an app.
Is that an iMac or something?
Wow.
No, it's just a, I guess, filter.
Background.
I don't know. It's
Oh,
something.
okay, filter. Because I know some of these
Got it.
new iPhone devices will arbitrarily, depending on your gestures, put in a thing like balloons or a heart or a physical thumbs up in the window on some of these new devices, the Apple
I could do that
devices.
with I'm on a computer though. On a
Oh
PC, not
wow,
on
it has different. Oh,
Just in love.
I know.
circling birds.
I would be playing with this all day. I wouldn't even be able to do a stream.
Let's see.
Wow. What's it called? What's this called?
Magic.
Is it that
It
camo
is
program?
it's UCam.
Oh, you can.
Yeah. Circling
Who
birds.
said magic? That was funny.
Magic.
Oh.
It's not birds. It's my. Oh, they're not. There they are.
Oh, there you go. That's what happens when you get some really good edibles.
Indeed.
Was somebody being bad in chat, Jeff?
Oh.
I said, was somebody being bad in chat?
Bad?
Yeah.
Well,
Not
there's a lot
good.
of people here for the drama, I think, that are I'm afraid are going to get disappointed.
Whoa, that was so cool. What the little ostrich or whatever.
Oh my God! Wow, what's on your head?
Holy shit! Thank God I didn't take
Those are
that
beer bottles.
that drop of
Fish?
acid earlier.
Those are beer bottles. Now I have the angel and the devil.
Oh
That's
wow! Oh God! All right, this is so much better than vertical.
Look at that.
That's cool.
It's fun. Yeah. Everyone, I want to hide my face.
What is? Oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm looking at it at the moment. Okay, I get it now.
That's just a little fun thing.
it is fun.
Even just looking at it.
I'm very easy. It doesn't take much.
There we go. I don't really get why the money's coming out of my head.
What is that? Money coming out of your hair?
Yeah.
I guess.
Wow.
That's a neat talent.
Wish it were real. But yeah, you know, just fun stuff.
I had some roommates that used to have a gas mask that they would smoke weed out of somehow. It had a big hose attached.
Yeah, I think
you can do it.
I've done that before.
I've done that. On 420.
Man, when we were growing up, our marijuana was shitty. Like, we didn't have this medical grade marijuana. We had regs or, you know, mids, and if we were lucky, we like Crippy, which you hardly ever saw when you were younger. I remember the first time I ever saw Crippy, I was tripping. I was on some hallucinogenic drugs, and I remember looking at it, and I was like, God, this is so beautiful. Because it had the crystals and the red hairs, and it was really pretty. I remember, this is beautiful. It's colorful. Got the crystals are like, diamonds. Like, this is so pretty.
Well, one thing that pisses me off though about today's weed is I bought 20 gummies and I ate all 20 within like 5 minutes of each other and felt nothing. Felt nothing. It was supposed to be 100 milligrams. It was supposed to be 100 milligrams total.
You never feel anything ever the whole time?
No.
What? How high is your tolerance?
It must be high. I don't know. Either
Yeah,
that or
100 milligrams.
I
100 milligrams is not that strong. You need like at least 200 or like significantly higher than that. Yeah.
I can barely do half a gummy.
But where the hell do you get these strong gummies? I mean, these were just.
I don't like here. It's I think
or homemade.
10 is the standard dose, so half would be 5
You just get the
milligrams. And I
oil,
feel it.
just concentrate oil, and then just make it yourself.
Yeah, you can buy the oil, and they have the RSO too.
Yeah, the RSO. That's what I get.
I just found out about RSO today, and I never.
But it's probably your tolerance, and you can only gonna be able to push it so far.
Well, I heard that like if you take a week off, you reset.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Or even every couple of days.
Let's see.
Yeah, because the body has endocannabinoid receptors, so it produces endogenous cannabinoids. So if you use cannabis too much, the receptors they go inside of the cell. So it's not that it's not even just a tolerance. It's just you're actually not physically getting high anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has a half-life too. And if you keep smoking while it's running through its half-life, you're just prolonging that tolerance.
Yeah. What was that?
Whoa, what was that? It sounded like
I live in a haunted house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a one-hit wonder. I'll have one hit, and I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta see if that works. Taking some time off.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to reset, I find.
I always hear about one time a person brought me a piece of an edible from Las Vegas, and it was the size of my thumb. It was like Fruity Pebbles, the cereal. And I ate that, and I was fucked up for a good 2 hours. I didn't want to leave where I was. And I don't know why that was so strong.
I do want to try the wax stuff just once. Well, maybe if I liked it, maybe more than once, but
Let's
at
see,
least once I should say. Like the dab,
Megan wants me to share. You want me to share this?
Oh, it's just they're asking for the duck races.
The duck races?
Yeah.
Is it a game? Oh wow!
I
I'm ready for the beat. No, I'm ready for the punk duck.
I put in a whole list of names, and then I full screened it, and that list of names away. Darn it! I have to put that in again. Jeez, it's gonna be forever. All right.
Oh.
Sorry. I can't see the names. I want to see again, Jess. Okay. You guys keep talking. This is just something that plays in the background.
Oh, okay.
I remember I'm just watching you type. I'm like, I was concentrating on that. And Chuck, I don't know if you have that. I can't see. Yeah.
What is happening?
I think our ducks are going to race.
So excited.
Me
But I don't have all my ducks in a line yet.
we're just one duck.
It's going to give you
Too
that
bad I don't
many
have my
ducks.
frogs. They sound like
One
ducks.
L.
They're sleeping
All
in the
right, who am I
water.
missing?
That's a lot of ducks.
Not too
Let's go
bad.
ducks.
Wow, look at.
Holy shit!
Why does mine have the mask? Oh my god! Who's Granny Duck? Denison is Mama Duck.
Dennison's a granny duck.
Mamo.
Oh.
I like King
That's
Philip.
just something I used to put in the background while, on panels. But
Who got
sometimes
the
it's a bit
punk?
distracting.
Denison, your
How
duck's
long does it take him
ahead.
to win? So far, Granny is
30
booking
seconds.
it. We are eating her
But I can-
dust.
But I can change the time. The person who's in
Chuck's
the
coming
front
up.
never
Maniac.
wins.
Maniac's gonna
Maniac.
win.
Uh-oh.
Maniac. Oh, I came in
Out of
second.
nowhere.
Mossad got it.
Out of nowhere.
I came in second.
Hey, that's not even.
So we can
right.
do more than 30 seconds, but 30 seconds is usually good enough.
That was cool. That was
There
fun.
we go.
All right, are you more concerned about that it's duck or that it's an old
Number
lady?
13.
Come on,
I should
Jess.
switch up the costumes too.
Oh, Megan. Oh, Daniel. Oh, Daniel might get it. Oh, here comes Grandma. Here comes Grandma. Oh, Jeff,
the person
here
who's
he's
in
coming.
the lead
Oh, here
at the
comes
beginning
Chuck
never
with the
wins.
walker.
Oh, machine.
See you, Mel.
Got it. Woo! Chuck, you came in second.
Oh shoot.
Okay,
Okay, so wait,
this
who
is
was the
actually
first one?
too much fun.
Who was the first one that won again? It was Maniac. I don't think so.
Yeah, Mossad, Maniac Mossad.
I got to put her back in because I accidentally had it where I removed it.
Oh, this is cool.
Daniel, you almost won. You did
Now
good.
the costumes have changed. There we go.
Daniel, don't get angry. It's a duck race. How can you be happy?
Look at who's the gay duck? Zat.
What?
The trans duck. Whatever.
Oh, Chuck, you're.
Oh, they
no,
gave Machine a different duck. They gave us different ducks.
Yeah, it changed when I went to the.
There we go. There we go.
One.
Yeah.
I came in second again.
Pink is a manly color.
Too many
Yeah, I guess
plain
you
ducks
would
on
say
this
that
one.
if they assigned you pink. I love that the dragon.
Anyways, I
red.
didn't mean to kill the conversation.
Oh no,
Oh,
I could
we're
stay on
fine.
this for a while. I guess I should unshare it after this.
Jeff, do you play any video games, like real video games, or?
This is a great enhancement.
Oh, I missed.
Oh, there goes Denison.
Just a plain old yellow
Aw.
duck this time.
Granny came in
All
second.
right. Well, thank you for that. That's
That was cute.
that's fun.
For sure. So, what were we talking about?
I don't know.
Life. But that was much more funner than life because, life can suck sometimes.
Oh yeah, we were talking, I think, about weed, weren't we?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
we were.
Then we started playing a duck game. That probably says
that was perfect.
No,
and you went high during that duck game. I'm sure you had fun.
somebody mentioned wax, and you need
I did.
you need a rig for that, right?
I'm sorry.
Don't you need what's called a dab rig to do that?
I'm not sure. I've seen once. I've only seen.
they
one
have little
person smoke it.
devices now that you can supposedly melt it on.
Portable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know some people. I've just heard people they do like one hit or whatever, and they're like blasted. But
yeah, that's what I heard. But
if I have to work too hard to get high, it's just not worth it. Oh yeah, take care, Flaky Jake. Mossad apparently has a rig.
I hope that wasn't a typo.
Whoa, where'd Chuck go? Bye, Chuck. See you later.
He dropped off, I guess. I don't know. Should we call it a day? Where are y'all at?
I'm about to leave. I just wanted to hop in and say hey.
I gotta get ready to go myself. Liz, you're getting us where we're all leaving now. It's all your fault.
Which one's Liz? Is that Flaky
Oh,
Jake?
she's Flaky Jake. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Jake. All right. Well, I'll wind it down. I'll probably be out and about tonight. Machine, are you streaming tonight? Well, he might be streaming. You could check out his channel.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, look for TML. I might be on later. I'll see how it goes. Anybody else want to promote anything?
Could you put your link in the back?
Yeah, let me get a TMLs.
Well, I won't promote anything, but I will extend an offer to my friend Zatoichi to check out the Kaczynski stuff, because we go into deep details about that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to me, man. Because I get accused of looking like him a lot, so it's
well.
Yeah, we also got we also went over some of the Book of the Samurai as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. You got me.
I have you actually. I am sub to your machine, so.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I have my reading thing.
Thank you.
Same with
Thank
Jeff,
you,
but
if you guys
and I
want
am
to sub
thinking.
to me, I'd appreciate it because I have a live stream occasionally.
All right.
Okay.
Put that.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Sounds
Oh, he's
good.
okay.
And also, everybody on the show, their channels usually appear in the title or the description too, if you ever need them.
Okay.
I saw that. That's cool.
And there's
I've been thinking
Matt's channel.
I've been thinking about opening or doing a channel, so
nice.
I'll probably need some advice from someone one of these days.
Just turn the camera on and
just
start
turn
doing
the camera
it.
on
Or
and
watch
go.
other streamers you like and take little ideas from them that seem to work, and a lot of experimentation.
Yeah, and whatever program you use for streaming, just look at their tutorials, or talk to somebody who's like a pro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I'm getting more like out there, like hopping on channels. You know what I'm saying? And just being
And
on the
Machine's
channel.
a good one to go on tonight too. His is pretty chill. Well, not always chill, but it's pretty a good place to be yourself. not a lot of pressure.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Well,
I'm Jess, and I didn't really introduce myself. Hi, Megan. Nice to meet you. Machine. Nice to finally talk to you. I talked to you in chat.
And the pencil guy, I can't read your name. I'm sorry, or I don't even know the pencil.
The pencil.
Next, the guy next to Moose.
Okay.
Zatuichi or Zat. I think is that Michael Moorcock? Hey Moose.
Yeah, it is. How did you know that?
I remember because I read the books growing up. Was it Melba?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the books from growing up.
Yeah, dude. Excellent. Those books were crazy, man.
Yeah, Elric.
Right, yeah. Good eye. Yeah, you're the only person who's ever recognized it.
Oh, I'm old school.
Mm.
What is Moose up to?
Oh, I'm trying to figure out why my camera's not like.
Is that your floor or your table?
Floor.
Oh.
I'm like, why is it only like this big?
Do you have it on vertical? I don't know. I'm not a techie. Those are nice floors.
Mm-hmm.
Penguin. Man, you look busted. You okay? Okay, I get it. Yeah, I think everyone's going for a break right now.
I think we're all a little tired.
All right, so I guess that's what's what. Catch Machine later. Zat stream sometimes. Megan and Jess.
I'm probably going live eventually.
Yeah, Moose started streaming more. I noticed doing panels. He has several channels. The optics are high. It's one of his main ones. Producer Moose is another.
Yeah, the panel with Nude Guru was fire. Straight up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was a good one.
That's cool.
Here,
Megan,
Moose,
you
do
got
you
a
want to?
channel or you just
I don't have a channel. No, I've got like 4 videos on my channel.
Whoa.
One of them
Oh.
is a Mikey Troll video, though.
Oh,
All right.
Mike. Oh, is that from?
I need you
Are you from
guys
that
to
sector?
all hit that like
Yeah.
button. You need to share this with
Oh,
your
yeah.
you need to subscribe to all these channels of all these amazing people. We appreciate your time, energy, and your attention. Thank you.
Amen. Praise Jesus. Hail Satan. Man, Massad's going to be live on OnlyFans.
Oh, okay. All right, you guys. You peace out. Talk to you guys later. Thanks, Jeff, as always. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
you too,
Talk to
Jess.
you
Take
later.
care.
Thanks
Bye.
for having
Take
me
you
out,
too.
Jeff. I'll see you later.
Yep, Zet. You as well.
Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks. Machine, good to see you.
All right, Jeff. See you soon. I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Yeah, I
And,
might. In fact, I might drop by tonight instead of doing
Okay.
a panel.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be less fighting today.
Last time I was on, somebody said that they really enjoyed it. It was one of their favorite shows. I forgot who it was, but you got
Oh,
some
yeah.
good feedback on it.
Okay. Yeah. We get a lot of good feedback. And the format of the show is shaping up. We get like a nice little flow going. So yeah, we've been doing it for a year now. I think me and you.
Wow.
So yeah.
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 Dang.
So it's
Yeah, we
just,
started about the same time.
yeah, that's right.
Damn.
At the same time. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah.
All
Thank
right,
you.
we'll definitely check Machine out later tonight. He'll be
Yeah.
starting up.
Yeah. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right. Take care. I love the background. All right, that's all I got. I'm gonna go do my thing, and I'll either open another one tonight or go on Machines or see what else is going on in the Panelverse. As usual, I certainly appreciate it. Tell your friends, like and subscribe. We're almost there to that magic 500, and once we get there, we'll hopefully be able to do more stuff. And I guess that's it. Have a great Saturday, and I'll see you somewhere soon, sometime. All right, take care.